Oh boy. Good evening. Happy Friday evening. So the plan today, oh, excuse me, this might sound a bit bad. I'm gonna caress the foam on my microphone right off the bat. I'm sorry for the assault on your ears. feel the ruffle. Okay. So tonight, the plan is to do a run of CS4, any percent true ending. But at the same time, I'm going to be talking a lot. I'm going to try to. I find it difficult to talk while concentrate at the same time. Pretty low success rate when I do both at the same time. But today, I don't actually care too much about my time. I could do today's run without a split and nothing would change. But I'll keep my split up for prosperity. The reason to do this is simple. I've done like 30 runs of the game. I'm still not good at it, but I want to get more consistent and I want to have less reliant on my notes in general. So talking all the strats out loud simultaneously, I hope should make it more entertaining as well as makes it better for me in the long run, because I do need to one day do this basically in memory, which will drastically speed my time up a lot and makes me more confident at the run and helps me recover from all the bad situations that can happen. There are still strats that I don't actually know about, and I would love to have those gaps of knowledge filled in at some point in the future as well. But with what I do know, I am at least competent enough to finish a run. Granted, it was a bad time, but at least I can finish. So, to preface it, this is the Cold Steel 4 any percent true ending turbo category. Turbo is allowed, 2x turbo in the field, 6s turbo in battle. The run is played on normal difficulty, and you must play to the true ending, which means beating Ishmael God at the end of the game. You have to start with a brand new save file, no new game plus carryover is allowed, and no file transfers are allowed. So, in order to do this run, not only do you need a completed save file of Cold Steel 4, but you are also not allowed to have save files from the previous Cold Steel games. I had to migrate those out of my save folder to make sure the game gets confused and thinks I haven't beaten the previous games. That being said, we're going to start the run. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Yeah, we're going to start the run. So the run starts upon hitting the last prompt. Here we also need to do a check to make sure that none of our previous system data are being loaded when start the game. And as soon as we decline to load clear data from Trails of Cold Steel 3, the run will officially begin along with the timer. So 3, 2, 1, begin. Oh, okay, good start. Alright, it's okay, time here doesn't matter. So the start of the game is the prologue section, the infamous worst part of the game, but fortunately it happens at the very start, so it's not too bad. If this was like 2 hours in, I would probably never have ran this game to begin with, because this is the most RNG infested part of the entire game. On average, 9% of runs, mathematically speaking, makes it through this section, because you need to clear 2 30% RNG checks in a row, which makes it particularly brutal. The opening fights here are pretty set. There are some random wild swings in RNG that can make this significantly faster, but we don't count on those happening. In general, we expect these fights to end when Ellie takes a shot or on the next attack. So with this fight done, we skip the next cutscene, and we can use auto to quickly skip all the tutorial prompts, which is the last strat I ever learned, and was the crux I need to save time. So before we enter the next area, we need to do some party switches, namely Ren out for Lloyd, and we put Ren in the front start of our party. This is because we don't have to do the swap here, which is a lot better. Joshua here will do damage with Black Fang, and then the rest of the crew will just sling as much damage spells as they can. Generally, we try to use arts here to end these fights as fast as we can. Fortunately, we haven't come up to the nasty RNG part of the run yet, but they definitely still exist and they will ruin your life. So the next fight coming up is first of the 3 RNG checks. We will learn about S-crafting in the next battle, because the prologue section serves as your tutorial. To clear the next fight, you have to fight a Divine Delph, which has a whopping 65,000 health. You're not killing that very efficiently. So what we do is during the S-Craft tutorial, we take the tutorial and use Ren to clear it. Ren's S-Craft Nemesis party has a 30% chance to KO this Delph. So we have a 30% chance to just win this fight. If this does not work, this fight drags on significantly longer and people usually just reset because we're only 2 minutes in. So here we fail the 30% check, and instead of resetting, I'm just going to play it out because I don't care about the times today. So the fallback here is a Petrify, which is also coincidentally the next 30% check. Petrify has a 30% chance of landing on the Delph as well, same as Ren's Death Blow. Once the enemy is petrified, they will be dead very, very quickly. That is the RNG check we are making at this section here. In this section, Ren no longer has enough to S-Craft. So what do? Well, we rely on getting the Petrify proc. There is a single person in this entire crew that is able to cast a Petrify art, and that's Estelle with IV Nail. Estelle has a 30% chance to land the ability and then instantly win us the fight. If not, this fight drags on and it is terrible. Will we get it? We actually do get the 30%. And this fight is over in pretty quick time. Now heading up, it's going to be the final fight to end the prologue section. First we come here and grab the Zerum powder and immediately feed it. Hey Dan, thank you for the sub. Don't mind me just explaining. And here we're gonna feed all our shield potions to Joshua to try to get him up to as much CP as possible. He's not gonna hit 200, but he's gonna be good enough for the fight. So now we're going to kickstart this fight. Every single member has a job to do. First, Joshua will cast a speed buff on everybody else. The goal is to get 2 buffs on every single person, and then cast Cherubic Smile, and then S-Craft Spam to end the fight. Fastest way we can do that is to just go around feeding power potions. Ellie doesn't have a damaging S-Craft, so we swap her out with Ren immediately. This fight has set party murmur, so Ren gets kicked out of the party by default, which does kinda suck. We're going to use a Brave Soul because we need 5 BP to cast Cherubic Smile, and we're not going to be able to build that. We do need to apply one more layer, but here I see 2 people that are confused. So I'm going to instead do this. This fight is also very heavily RNG reliant because Claire can freeze, Alberic can Deathblow, and I think Mariobel can confuse. All of which can stop your strategy dead in the water before it even begins, which is definitely not desirable. So as soon as this La Forte lands, we're gonna go for it. La Forte has landed, we're gonna pop Cherubic Smile, and we're going to go for the burst. 4 S-Crafts continuously will not, probably in all likelihood, end the fight, but it's gonna get us close enough. So this is the part that also requires a fair bit of RNG. Will Estelle actually kill Alberic? In this case she does, so no complaints. So the prologue ends without too much incidents. 5 minutes is okay, I guess, and now we actually jump into the game proper. So when we start the game, we're going to take control of Yuna and Altina as they try to find Kurt. There's nothing really here aside from a quick tutorial section, teaching us basic movement and map checks. The only thing that's slightly annoying here is the fact that stairs are really hard to run up and down during turbo. Getting caught here can be kind of annoying, but if you keep your camera straight and just hit your movement buttons, Reen's door is right here, and by interacting with Reen's door we end the dream sequence and hop back into the real world. In the real world, we here conclude the tutorial section by speaking to all the members of Class 7. We do this in a set order to make this very fast. Notably, we haven't discovered any fast travel points because this is our very first time in Erin. So we do have to run to some locations to add them to our fast travel menu, which we'll be using extensively throughout Act 1. So it's very important we hit all the right spots at the right time. And we do this in a route such that we can talk to everybody in a way that allows us to backtrack the least. So in the Orbital Factory, we're going to talk to Fee and Sarah here, which afterwards the camera immediately puts us facing the door because they want us to get out. Here we come talk to the witches, and our last stop is going to be General Goods. This route not only talks to everybody, but also discovers everything with the exception of one location that we still need later on. We'll be discovering that after the St. Graal Labyrinth section. So after this, we are now hopping into actual tutorial combat for the second time, because why have tutorial just once? Here we learn about the Orphan system, and they're going to give us a set of preordained cores that we're going to equip for the sake of just getting everybody out of this prompt. These will change pretty damn quickly as we get better toys. Here while the door is opening, we swap to Altina for a later prompt. Unlike Cold Steel 3, if you swap characters while running in this game, it actually stops you from moving for a second, which makes it very slow and ineffective. Here we do the tutorial for Brave Warders, and we actually switch Yuna's stance before we cast her Brave Warder. This is so that in the next tutorial, when Yuna actually has to switch her stance, we don't have to do it anymore. For some reason, we can just do this part of the tutorial early, so we're not forced to do stance change here and can immediately end the fight with Berserker. Now there's one more forced battle before Rosalia, and the next forced battle does involve people that Kurt and Altina on their own cannot kill. Here we grab this very important treasure chest. We soft lock if we don't grab that. And we're going to head on to the next tutorial. So this is the final tutorial fight. We learn Randy's Brave Warrior and then proceed to not use it, and opt instead to use Altina and Kurt's S-Breaks. They will kill all the small goons, but the big megalith guy will survive. And to kill him, we have Randy do it, with 2 casts of Warcry to get him up to 100 CP. And as soon as he gets to 100 CP, he will wipe the fight. This also gets him low, because when we get to Rosalia, we want to die. Killing Rosalia is a lot slower than just losing to her, and if Randy starts the fight with lower health, we end even faster. The reason why we swapped the Altina earlier is because she can break this barrier with just one swing, and we don't have to waste time standing here. Now we grab this Spirit Instance, that's 10,000 Mira, we're gonna sell it at the next shop, and now it's a straight run to Rosalia. So the Rosalia strategy is to lose. We're not gonna be able to beat her, we need to do like 80,000 damage to her to end the fight, and we just don't have that much damage. Not after blowing all of our S-Breaks. So, Randy will try to kill himself as fast as humanly possible, and we let Rosalia destroy us. There is some part of RNG here. Rosalia can just choose to basic attack you forever. We clump all our people up, and we hope Rosalia does all her biggest skills, like Bloody Fang and Crimson Lancer. Lancer is the best, Lancer does the most damage. But now she's choosing to just basic attack us to death, which is not very elegant. But that one Lancer will finish us off, and we're done with Rosalia. It's very important we hit continue to opt to not proceed any longer. And now we're actually gonna play the game. And before we head out into the overworld, we need to hit some more tutorials about overworld stuff like fishing and cooking and whatnot. We're gonna start the tutorial. I accidentally switched characters, whoops. We're gonna start the tutorial here. He's not gonna let us out until we upgrade the slot, so we pick the least expensive slot to upgrade. Slots on Yuna is just about the least important thing ever. Before we head to our next destination, we hop to the Herbalist home. We talk to Aller here because Aller will give us 2 free things over the course of the run. And both of those things are very important. So we unlock that fast travel point, come here and learn how to cook. The final tutorial we need to hit is how to fish. Now we come to Town Square and talk to Euclase, who teaches us how to fish. And afterwards we're conveniently at the exit point. So we take this exit point to go to Eerie Woods, and we actually begin the process of leaving Erin. Before we move, it is very important we fast travel to St. Graal Labyrinth and then back to the entrance. Doing so prevents the St. Graal Labyrinth's fast travel point from disappearing. If you don't do this step, this fast travel point for some weird reason vanishes during Act 2. As far as I know, this is a PC exclusive issue for some weird reason, and we need that fast travel point because we actually come back to St. Graal during Act 2. And without that fast travel point, we have to run through Eerie Woods, which takes a significantly longer period of time. So by doing that quick fast travel, we save ourselves time in the future. And here we're going to run into St. Ark, not St. Graal. We're going to run to St. Ark as our first town. And along the way, we're going to be grabbing a few treasure chests. In general, we only grab 2 types of treasure chests and ignore everything else. We grab U material, which we need. And we grab all Sepith for the early game, because Sepith early game is very important. Here we're going to come across an Ornament station that also allows us to make ornaments, which is very important. We need to make some early quartz to stay alive. The ones that we're making are 2 copies of HP 1 and a Saintly Force. And while we're going to rearrange some setups, we're going to give HP 1 to these 2, and we're going to give Skull to everybody because later on there's a fight where break damage becomes important. And we're going to give Saintly Force to Altina, and we'll be using that in about 3 minutes from now. Saintly Force is great. It gives you the largest possible buff to strength and attacks, arts attack. The downside is it only does it for 1 person. So it's not going to see significant amount of use, but in the early game when we just need 1 person to be ultra jacked, it's pretty good. Eventually it's going to wear out its use as we'll find bigger and better buffs to apply to everybody, but for the early game, Saintly Force definitely does its job very well. Grab the U material chest on our way out, and now we run to St. Ark. So along the Saint arc, this is a very simple road. There's one chest we need to grab for all Sepith. We need to grab every single Sepith chest we can get our hands on, because when the Fragment section roll around, we need to sell all of our Sepith. And by selling all the Sepith, we need to arrive at a pretty specific amount of money. More than we can recoup if we forget a chest along the way. So it's very important we grab some. Here we're gonna sleep in this bed, which gets us 100 CP. For some reason, when you enter Saint Arc, everybody has 100 CP, but not 200. So we sleep at that bed real quick to get everybody to 200 CP. Common theme in this run is getting 200 CP to maximize S-Craft, so end the fights as fast as possible. Here we sell our Spirit Incense and we buy weapons for Yuna and Kurt. In general, we only buy weapons for physical attackers because arts attackers don't really scale well with their S-Crafts. So Altina never ever buys a new weapon in the entire speedrun. Now we're going to hit all of the story points in Saint Arc. We're going to end here at the Noble District. And by fast traveling to the entrance, we can quickly leave this district as well instead of needing to run back. In the April Cafe and Inn, we come talk to the last group of people, who in the casual playthrough is the first group you talk to, but speaking to them last makes the routing very convenient. Here we're going to open this door and Kyrie's going to come out, but we don't get to see him. And now we head to the road and do our next section. So our next section is going to be our first dragon fight of the game, and here's where we unlock the dragon tutorial. People can call their own mechs to start beating the shit out of enemies in battle in this game. This is a mechanic that we extremely underutilized during the entirety of this run. We use it exactly twice, once in the tutorial and once at the end of the game where we're forced to do it. In general, it's just not a good ability. But here, we need to worry about killing this guy. And the way we do that is to have Altina sanely force herself while everybody else smacks it with Proud Warrior as much as possible. Proud Warrior gives us a pretty good damage buff, and this initial bit of damage is gotta be good enough as we pop Proud Warrior again. And now everybody S-break. Altina's buffed and everybody else landed chip damage. This is exactly enough damage to force an end to this fight. And after this fight ends, surprise surprise, the fight is not over. We hop into the tutorial section where Yuna has to call the Draken. Everybody else will skip their turn and wait for Yuna to call the Draken, and this will end the fight. So at the end of the tutorial, we're done here. Now we move forward onto the next stage in the story, which is the town of Parm, the southernmost village in Erebonia. Back when Hamel was no longer a thing. We grabbed this new material chest we kinda needed for the future, and we're gonna head off to Parm. Along the way, we're gonna get stopped by one more tutorial, which is about trial chests. We don't do a single trial chest fight. There's no point routing for it. The Brave Orders in this game are broken enough as they are. The minor upgrades that we pursue in these trial chests are by no means required to clear the game. And every single trial chest does take a fair amount of time to do, so we don't do any of them. Not to mention, by the end of the game, we pretty much only use one Brave Order anyway, and we're sure as hell not gonna seek out that trial chest. We don't even run to like half the places in this game anyway in the speedrun, so why would we go out our way to unlock some upgrades? In Parm, we need to hit like 2 dialogue triggers and then we're on our way. After this dialogue trigger, we get warped into the inn. Here's where you actually do your Vantage Master tutorial, but we put it off for later. Because we avoid speaking to, I believe Pablo is in here, because we avoid speaking to Pablo, we don't ever trigger the Vantage Master tutorial. But the game realizes that we never learned how to duel, so they're going to shove that tutorial in our face later anyway. Here in Parm by Road 1, we're going to run to Titus Gate, which triggers the next sequence of events. It's very important to remember that Parm by Road 1 and Parm by Road 2 here both trigger a cutscene that we have to be quick on our fingers to skip. And then we run into Titus Gate, and there's one very important thing that we have to pick up in Titus Gate, which is a horse. Horses in this game are weird. When you unlock a horse, you can only use it for the road that you unlock it in. We only unlock this one. We don't ride a horse anywhere else. The horse you borrow here spans Old Agria Road and Parm by Road 1 and 2. And these are the 3 roads that for some reason we go across like 4 or 5 times. So getting the horse here definitely saves us some time as we do go through Parm by Road quite a bit. Now we're going to head into Titus Gate where we have to talk to Anton to advance the story, but before we do so, we're going to sleep. The Draken fight took away all of our CP and we need max CP for the next battle, which is against a bunch of flowers. So we're going to sleep here and get to 200 CP. And we're gonna speak to Anton, which progresses the story. And now we go back to Parm by Road 1, and now we have a horse. And because we have a horse, we can very quickly run here and grab this treasure chest that we do need. We just skipped the first time around because it's not as fast. And here we're going to take this horse and run it straight into Hamel. Be careful not to collide into any terrain because bonking a horse like that takes time. Don't ever do that. And now running to Hamel, we run to the end. And at the end of Hamel is the first of 4 horrible horsemen of the CS4 speedrun, the Gilbert battle. The Gilbert battle is very gimmicky. In a casual playthrough, he is a complete joke. It is specifically designed to be funny. The gimmick is Gilbert, being the big cheater he is, brought items to a boss battle where items should be banned for enemies. It should only be something that's used by the human player. Except Gilbert cheats and he brought items of his own, but hilariously enough, he's Gilbert, so he only brought 1 of each item. He will use the items in sequence, starting from his best and down to his worst, and eventually he starts wasting turns chugging energy drinks that do just about nothing. Unfortunately, in a speedrun, if we ever let him get a turn, he's gonna use the strongest item he has, which by itself prolongs the fight long enough for that such that it is impossible for us to win. There is a fair bit of RNG in this fight, specifically if Gilbert gets a turn or not. Depending on how things go, you may not be able to control that. The odds can be pretty low if you know how to manipulate the fight properly. Unfortunately, I've gotten a bit better at it. But it's still not 100% enough that if Gilbert ever heals, it is practically run over. Fortunately, this is sub 20 minutes, so if you're really tryharding, you can definitely grind it out. Just reset the run and try again and hope Gilbert is nice to you. We do have to come back to Titus Gate. We blew all our CP on fighting the flowers, and God knows we need all our CP to fight Gilbert. Because it's me, and because it's me doing a speedrun, I'm gonna make a safety save for Gilbert. Not recommended because this fight recently has become consistent enough that this save is not necessary, but approaching Ash triggers the fight. Ash actually forces himself into the party, which is hilarious. Here we're going to let them smack us a bit until we get our turn, and we're going to use Proud Warrior followed by Ragnar Strike and Belial Raid. These 2 attacks by themselves will clear out all of the trash. I misclicked and one of the doggies is not being hit, but that's okay. And now we're gonna swap into Crazy Hunt for more crit, and now Yuna and Randy have the job of chipping Gilbert down as much as possible. So that's gonna be in the form of Brave Smash into Death Storm. And now he's going to limit break himself and start begging for mercy. This hit will deal damage to both parties, which is fine. And here we need to try to break him as much as possible. We're going to swap back into Proud Warrior. And let's see, this is where I have to think a bit. So this should break him, maybe. Yes, so once he's broken here, the fight is basically over as he is dead. If you successfully break him before he gets his move, it is over. If you do not, he heals and you lose. So fortunately that wasn't so bad, and next we have the survival fight against Zector. Here we have to survive 35 turns. Alternatively, you can deal half health damage to everybody here and force them to retreat. We just expended all of our resources to fight Gilbert, so there's no way in hell we can actually win this fight. So the strategy here is pretty funny and pretty simple at the same time. We spread out and we just run for our lives. Unfortunately here, there's a pretty neat drawback here. You want to heal to make sure you don't party wipe, because if you party wipe, you have to do this over again, and that's a huge waste of time. But at the same time, healing, as in the action of channeling an art, doesn't count as a turn, so it actually delays the fight, and that's no good in the speedrun. It's okay if people die, they get revived after this fight anyway, but it is very important that you don't lose everybody. So worst case scenario, if everybody dies, Altina can still sub in and tank a few more hits, but at the HP level everyone's at now, we should be fine. Yeah, we are more than fine. So 35th turn is Ash, and we have timed it out. And now we fight Zector for the first time, and here's where we're introduced to Divine Knight battles. And boy, oh boy, is this a fun Divine Knight battle. Here is the body in its neutral stance, which is a 75% chance to unbalance, so boy, I love RNG. It is amazing. I love dealing with RNG. This is Arm, which is fortunately 100% consistent. We're gonna use a Bravestone to get up to the requisite amount, and we have been trolled by a seal, so we're gonna have to chill. We're gonna try to purge off the seal, get our buff back. With this buff, we should be able to unite for a ton of damage. Oh, that's a misclick. I'm supposed to click on the head here. It's important to remember, but I'm not the best at remembering. The joint that each individual knight attack is memorized per knight, not universal. If Yuna last targeted the head and Ashe last targeted the body, that's where they're gonna be sitting. So this fight unfortunately will drag on a bit. However, Zector is meant to be like the tutorial fight, so there's no danger of really dying to this guy, but if you waste enough time, this fight becomes inefficient anyway. So that's gonna be it for that. And that's gonna be the end of Act 1 Part 1. Now we're gonna go back to Eren and prepare for our next journey out onto Ulster and Raquel. So the first stop we're gonna make in this next section of the game is very important. We make a pail stop along Milsante. Milsante is every speedrunner's favorite town because here we picked up the 2 best master cores in the entire game. So here we're going to learn about a few more things, and first we're going to make some stuff because we have the chance to do so. We're going to make bravestones. We literally only ever make bravestones. Where am I? We literally only ever make bravestones because that's where all of our U material is going. We eat bravestone like it's candy. It is 3 BP for a Divine Knight battle, which is the fastest possible way to end every fight. Where the hell is Ashe? There he is. See, this is why I shouldn't talk and play at the same time. Everything is gone wrong. Here we do the Vantage Master tutorial because the game loves to shove this in our face. We skipped it with Pablo. The game's like, wait a minute, you should know how to do this. So before we take off, we're gonna have to go to the herbalist home and talk to Aller for a free spirit incense, which we will sell for 10,000 Mira. Thank you. She hooks us up with the good goods and we're all on our way to Milsante. So Milsante is very important. It sells the 2 most important master cores for a speedrun. Mobius, which allows your item use to be AoE, which is great for spreading the love with serum powder. And Minotauros, which is the master cores that we put on literally everybody. In exchange for all your attacks inflicting longer delays, your attacks do an increased amount of damage. Attached to a 60% multiplier that also ranks up over the course of the game. I think it starts at 55 or 50, which is already pretty obscene because all of your skills do a lot more damage. The rest of the strats, every single boss we kill from here until the very end of the game, are based around us having the extra boost from Minotauros. If we ever forget Minotauros, we actually just lose fights because we don't have the damage to finish it. So we strap Minotauros on just about everybody we can see and Mobius on a few people. We don't need Mobius to be leveled up as high as Minotauros. We just need to hit level 5 to unlock the AoE item use. So we park that on some people that we don't really use, have it passively gain the experience as we level it up. We're actually going to be equipping and using Mobius in Act 3, which is a really long time from now. But hopefully by the time that rolls around, Mobius will be up and ready to go. Those are the 2 most important master cores we buy. So here is the run to Milsante. Pretty chill run, a very wide open field, very little enemies that can ruin our day. That dragonfly almost just ran into us and ruined our day. One thing in this game is that you can actually get ambushed from the side. If an enemy runs into you and runs into you at a perpendicular angle, sometimes that's an ambush. And if you get ambushed, it's anywhere between bad to literally run ending. Some places where it's run ending include Elm Whitelands and Dragnor Fortress. Other places where it's bad include just about everywhere else. Here we're going to sell the thing that Aller gave us to afford all of our stuff. We're going to buy Mobius, Minotauros, and a standard weapon upgrade. And now we make some quartz. We're going to make an HP 2 for survivability and 2 copies of Forte. And now we do our menuing. Yuna will take Minotauros Mobius to help level it up and take an HP 2 so she doesn't die. Altina takes an HP 2 so she doesn't die. Now she takes Minotauros and Mobius. Deva is completely useless so we don't use it. And here you can take these and take La Forte for party buffs, and you can take Minotauros. And you can stay on Sirius and take Minotauros as well. Firebolt, who uses that? Equip La Forte, and that's all the menuing we need to do. We run upstairs and talk to Ellie's mother, say hi to mother-in-law, and just quickly leave. Our next stop is White Birch Inn. Here we just need to walk near Sydney to trigger it, and now we do need to fast travel out into Milsante. This triggers a cutscene with Beryl, and afterwards we're actually released into the overworld. And our next stop is Raquel. This is not the last. This isn't the last time we see Milsante. We'll come back here exactly one more time during Act 2. But for now, we leave this quaint little town behind. And we head to a much less quaint town in the form of Raquel. In Raquel, it's very fast. We go there once in the entire game, and that's right now. We hit 3 fast travel, well, not fast travel. We hit 3 dialogue points and leave the town. We never go back. Later on in the game, in the casual playthrough, you're allowed to come back and gamble, but we're not gamblers. Along the way to Milsante, we do need to grab 1 U material chest, conveniently tucked around a corner here, so it's very important that you take the high road. There are 2 ways to get to Raquel, either through the high road bridges or the low road ravine, and if you go to the high road bridges, you're rewarded with this U material chest, which we do need. This is why we never go into the ravines. We also never enter Rock Patio, because that's only ever used for subquests in this game, and we don't do any subquests, except the ones that are required. So in Raquel, we hit 3 fast travel points. The first is the Deccan Pub and Diner. This triggers a cutscene. Now we run out and we head into the Raquel Chapelle, which is a sharp left turn into this alley because they built a chapelle in the middle of a dank alleyway. We're gonna talk to Sister Four Eyes and then leave to fast travel out into the entrance. This puts us in Raquel's exit entrance. And now we're gonna head into Hermit Bar and Inn and talk to Julia. With these dialogue checks complete, we fast travel to Raquel. This puts us in a cutscene with Hugo. And after this cutscene, we're going to be facing this way. So we just hold up and we're allowed to immediately run out of Raquel's through the correct exit. And now our next step is the town of Ulster, everybody's favorite little town that always gets mentioned but never seen until literally this game. Oh. So we don't really have any treasure chests along the way until we hit Old Lemaire Road 1. So this is still North Languedoc Canyon, which we do not need. And now we go into Old Lemaire Road 1. Upon hitting this cutscene, we come across a fork. We take the right path in the fork, past this amazingly large eagle that definitely won't run into us, and the second large eagle that won't run into us. Trigger this cutscene with Gustav, which resets enemy aggro, and we're now in Old Lemaire Road 1. So after Gustav says bye to us, we're gonna head here, grab this U material chest, and now we're on our way to the rest lodge. Nobody here has 200 CP except Altina, and we do need to fight Shirley afterwards. So we're gonna head into the rest lodge and throw some money in Edel's face so we can get 200 CP. So the next fight is Shirley, another notoriously difficult fight, not for the right reasons. This fight on paper is very easy. There's a lot of leniency in this fight. Cedric, Ada, and Fritz are all extremely squishy and dies very easily. You don't even need 4 S-breaks to kill them. The downside is Shirley. Shirley is a total wildcard. She has 2 possible moves she can do aside from a basic attack. She can use Flame Charge, which inflicts burn. Totally okay, I'm fine with that. She also uses Murder Strafe, which I'm not okay with. It has roughly a 10% chance to instantly kill you. If that happens, it's an Alt-F4 reset. If it doesn't happen, Murder Strafe still puts her far behind us and very far from the rest of her squad, which means that most of her S-crafts won't even reach her, making the fight extremely annoying. There is still ways to win when Murder Strafe connects and you don't get Deathblow, which is admittedly a pretty rare chance, but it just feels bad when it happens. But to avoid all this, we just ignite an incense and pray to the gods that Shirley doesn't actually use Murder Strafe at all. And that saves us a lot of headache. So after coming to Kai and Tilia's house, as well as the Steinos Distillery, we're well on our way to the Osgiliath Basin. And here we go. Shirley awaits us at the end of this. This split is called Shirley Please Be Nice. I don't hate Shirley as a character. I think she's fun. I'm not into crazy chicks, but she's a pretty free spirit. I can appreciate that. Just be nice to me. I've said many nice things about you where nobody else would. Please just be nice to me. We do grab the serum powder and hope that Scorpion doesn't run into us. For the purpose of my mental sanity, I'm gonna just make a safety save. Alright, here we go for the battle. Our party is forcefully rearranged again because Muse joins our party during the interim. That's Murder Strafe, and that's Kurt dead. And that's why we quick save. It's okay. It's okay. Alright, let's try that again. So our party is forcefully rearranged because Muse joins our party during the interim. Flame Charge is totally fine. So we need to swap our party to a setup that deals the most damage. So we kick out Yuna for Sarah, and we kick out Milsante for Ashe. Milsante right now doesn't actually do damage because we never had the chance to put Minotauros on her. Imagine that. So with everybody buffed to even once, this is enough damage to instantly end the fight. So Cedric will retreat here, and probably Shirley will as well. Yes. 3 S-breaks with 1 La Forte cast is more than enough to end the fight. And Shirley wasn't too nice to us, but you know, what can you do? And now we hop into our second Divine Knight battle. There's a tiny bit of switching here we have to do. And now we hit Cedric in his pretty little head to build as much BP as possible. Cedric is neutral stance as 4-star weakness on the head, which means every connected hit will become an unbalance. So let's just farm a lot of BP right off the bat. Sarah can use Thundering Roar to nerf him a little bit. And now with enough BP farmed, we're ready to start our onslaught. This is body, I believe, yes. We still have an extra Bravestone that we can eat, so we're just gonna eat it now. Bravestone in general is not budgeted as tightly as you think. There's a pretty generous safety window. I'm gonna heal for safety, and I'm just gonna Twilight. Twilight has a 90% unbalanced chance, and we built enough CP, connecting a second Unite, which brings an end to the fight. Pretty good Testarossa fight. In fact, that was a gold split. Now we're gonna head on to Crossbell, my least favorite section in Act 1, in my favorite city of all time. Quite disappointing, but it is a speedrun, you gotta do what you gotta do. Crossbell is just horrible for speedrunning. Then again, it's like the Zero Azure speedruns actually look pretty fun. Just not my personal cup of tea. So there's a double dialogue trigger here. We talk to Elisa as well as Altina. Fast traveling out here, we're just walking out here, doesn't really matter. We need to get up this ladder and talk to Milsante. And conveniently, the place where we need to sleep is right beside her. So we go to bed. And now Aura does, I believe she still has free stuff for us, maybe not actually, I don't remember, but we don't need to find out, we're gone. We don't actually need to pick up free stuff from Aura anymore, we say goodbye to free stuff mom. And we head to Crossbell. Very important we don't mess this up because we need to bring the right people to Crossbell. We bring Laura and Eustace, 2 of the most important people in this speedrun. We're gonna start making them useful immediately. So first of all, why does Laura have Saintly Force? And why do you guys not have that? That is the most powerful thing ever. So, switch to Titania. Why do you have Strike 1? Who did your core setup? Anyway. You're telling me Operation Mule Mirage looked at Muse's skill set and go, ah yes, Strike 1, that's what she needs in her ornaments. We're gonna go around hitting all of the dialogue triggers. Oops. That was a weird camera set. And as soon as all of our dialogues are gone, we land and do our forced battle with this thing, which is gonna flail stomp and ruin our life. Excellent. Flail stomping is horrible because it faints us. Fortunately, we can recover with Sappho Rain. Hopefully this is enough damage. If not, we're gonna really eat it. Yeah, this should be enough. This guy has like, I don't know, I want to say a 20% chance to Flail Stomp, which is way too high for a skill that faints you and forces you to take some extra time. Otherwise this fight's really fast. So all those random RNG time losses that you can't really control, unfortunately. And now grabbing that one treasure chest is a straight sprint to Crossbell, and there's 20 cutscenes before we can move on. I counted many moons ago how many cutscenes will be in Crossbell. The answer is 20. There is a cutscene for like every 5 steps you take, which is amazing. For a speedrun, it is just like the most engaging content imaginable. But over time, I think hitting every cutscene has kind of become a little game to me, which is an interesting way to reframe my mindset to not hate this place as much. So we're gonna start the cutscene train by being outside Crossbell. We're gonna happen across this bridge and people who are like, wow, look at this amazing bridge, and that's gonna be a cutscene. And now by heading into Crossbell, we're immediately placed into Long Lao Tavern and Inn on the East Street, so we fast travel out of that immediately because we don't need anything in here. So fast traveling out. Fast traveling out puts us into the entrance for East Street, conveniently one left turn away from the Harbor District. We need to hit quite a few places to progress with the story. This is just the first place. Harbor District triggers a cutscene, and now we walk forward. We can try to race Bishop here, but Bishop will always win, but we can get pretty close. The Crossbell branch for RF is our first stop here, formerly the IBC. So this dialogue's cutscene is done, so we need to fast travel out of Harbor. The best way is to go back to East Street, which is just one U-turn away from being connected to Central. In Central, there are a few people we need to talk to. We head into Genton and talk to Windy. By a few people, I mean exactly one guy. After talking to Windy, our next stop is the Entertainment District, where for real this time we have quite a few places to go to because it connects to the back alley. So first we talk to the information broker to see if she has any hot goss for us. So Imelda, what's up? Alright, and now we fast travel into the Entertainment District proper, which for some reason puts us beyond the back alley and lets us enter Arkansas. Here we're going to meet Sully in the middle of her practice session, and she's just gonna scan with quick look at us and determine that we're good guys. Now we're going to head left through the casino. Be very careful to hug this wall, because if we go too close to the casino, we hit a dialogue trigger which wastes time. Now in front of the CNS, we're gonna stop and look at the CNS building, which is the most silly cutscene of all time. And now by heading into the CNS building, we can fast travel to west, which puts us right next to Morg's Bakery. And here we found out that Oscar has been drafted, and poor Bennett is beside herself because Oscar is as dense as a brick. With all of the locations hit, we hit a dialogue trigger at the end, which means that we're now clear to enter Bioham Apartments. And in Bioham Apartments, there is one destination, formerly where Lloyd's relatives used to live. This is now Eunice's family's place. So by clearing all those dialogue triggers, we're free to enter Geofront Section X, hidden below this casino, which was not a place that existed in Zero and Azure. This door definitely does not connect to here. You think? I don't know. Maybe it does. That was a VIP suite where Lecter had his big old card game against Minor Gantz, but who knew there was a door to the Geofront X? Why would you put a door to the sewers, like essentially the sewer system, right next to your high stakes hotel VIP suite? I don't understand the planning that went into this building. Anyway, here we need to hit quite a few triggers, so we hit some switches. The Geofront is always a maze. Every single Geofront section has always been a maze. This one is no exception. It is one of the more straightforward ones though. You just run to the correct locations, and it's not too big of a deal. So it's a lot of uneventful running. We're gonna pick up Yona along the way and then do a boss fight, which is literally just 4 S-crafts. I'm gonna give my voice a break and just casually play until then. Here outside Yona's door, we're gonna hit a dialogue trigger, which asks us to go in and talk to Yona, and now Yona and Sully are with us in our party. Fortunately, they don't show up in battle, so we don't have to protect them. In the speedrun, it doesn't make a difference because we only do one fight with them in our party anyway, and that's the boss at the end, and this is the easiest boss of all time. Oh wait. So we grab this treasure chest, and we head down here. So there's a neat dialogue skip you can do here. If you go through this vent fast enough, you can skip a dialogue trigger from Sully and Kurt, where Kurt compliments her figure. We did not get it because Eustace decided to swing his sword. The hub hub dialogue has triggered, and we must now do our walk of shame as we listen to this dialogue. And here we make a sharp right turn, we pick up this very important U material treasure chest, and it's boss fight time! Let's go! Oh boy, what a exciting boss fight. Oh man. Oh man, this... Oh wait, this is literally just 4 S breaks? Oh wow, we won! That was somehow a gold split! Alright. So now by going forward a bit more, we trigger a cutscene with Tao, and then Estelle and Ellie comes in and steals our thunder. We totally could have taken them. I mean, like, it's Cold Steel 4, nothing here can kill you. And now we're gonna go out to Station Street, head south, and we're on our way to St. Ursula Medical College. But first, along the way, we're gonna get a call from our little hacker friend who hacked our phone and installed a virus on our phones. So to keep our phones intact, we're never going to open our phones to touch that virus program, ever. Why would you willingly launch a virus? I don't know. So here, neat little skip. If you menu fast enough, you can fast travel to the start of the field exercise site, which pretty convenient, fastest way out. Alternatively, you have to run up a flight of stairs, which, I mean, when you're moving in Turbo, there are few things as tenacious as stairs. They will trip you up in every way imaginable. It's like Claptrap from Borderlands. Stairs are his biggest weakness next to like 20 other things. Now we're on our way to St. Ursula Medical College. And after this, we also have to inexplicably go to Michelin. And then we begin the last battle of Act 1 and somehow the easiest battle of Act 1, because despite how the story props up El Prado as being like, oh, El Prado and Argreon, like tier 2 Divine Knights were like Ishmelga's tier 1, and they've kicked the crap, like no, like El Prado is completely garbage. Like it is by far the weakest knight in any playthrough, I like to think. Like, he just does not put up a fight no matter what. I'm sorry, it's just I've never ever been scared of El Prado. I've even misclicked and won anyway, so like... I mean, while learning this, El Prado has definitely KO'd me a few times, but nowadays, I can't imagine myself losing to El Prado. I guess it's all part of Rufus's persona. It's all talk, all looks, no flair, no substance. It's just so easy. Anyway, before we get to the El Prado fight, we do have to survive a run through the wetlands. And our characters do the biggest oopsie move imaginable, where they enter the wetlands through the wrong way, because this way is heavily guarded. And we decide to immediately give up. And out here, we're gonna hit the dialogue trigger. At the end, oh boy, what's a boat doing here? I guess we'll take this boat. Thanks. Thanks, Stark. Couldn't have done it without you. And now we enter MWL. So here we used all of our CP for the next battle, from the last battle against those clowns. So this is a good time as ever to just rest up and get our 200 CP back. So while we have some downtime, might as well start explaining the next section because it does take a while. After Act 1 is the very infamous Fragment section of the game. During the Fragment section, several terrible things start happening. Namely, we have to do a series of fights with many teams with many characters, so we can't put together our A team. We have to make sure everyone can hold their weight, which not a guarantee. Some people are just straight dead weights, like Emma, for example, or Elliot. And the other stinker about the Fragments is that we need to do a long series of fights without any way to recoup CP in between, and the fights we all do are all boss fights right next to each other. And there's some surprisingly challenging boss fights, and there's some boss fights that are pushovers. Surprisingly enough, George is always a pushover, but McBurn is also really easy in the Fragments. But other fights like Angelica and Demon Reen are pretty hard, so we have to do some very interesting strats to save our CP. If you know exactly who's going to be fighting what and you can arrange your party, because we have so many people with us and they all have Minotauros now, we can arrange our parties so that we have every single person for every single correct battle. And for the people with overlaps who do need to recharge CP, we just force feed them food. But before we get into that, we have to make our runs through the most terrifying area in the game, which is the Lake Elm Wetlands. There are fish in this area that if they sideway ambush you, gets to go first with a move that freezes you. If you are frozen, the run is over. You will be chain frozen to death and you have no way out. I'm cocky enough to not make a save file here. Let's see how that works out. Here we need to make a detour to the right on this fork and grab this treasure chest. Interesting thing about treasure chests in this game, when you grab one, it temporarily resets enemy aggro, so they stop chasing you. But the other part about it is that, oh my god. The other part about it is that if an enemy is close enough to you, you can't actually interact with a treasure chest. So here, if the Abaddon was chasing me, by interacting with that treasure chest, he will stop chasing me. But if he spawned too close to the chest, we have to engage him, get him out of our way before we're allowed to grab it. So this is a very easy fight with just one mini condition. Sometimes Lecter lives. He's been fainted by Laura, so he has no chance. So those are the enforcers and Lecter, I guess, down. And next up is 2 goons for some reason before we actually get to fight Alprado. But the game is kind enough to give us a full heal, making this fight completely obsolete anyway. Here we do a very purposeful swap, and this puts Milsante in the center slot along with Kurt as her co-pilot, and this arrangement is exactly enough to arrange the party such that Milsante goes before Kurt. Oh no. Well, that's a very unique string of bad luck, unfortunately. So now we're gonna have to improvise a bit. Milsante should not have gone before Kurt. It sometimes happens, that's just bad RNG. But what can you do? Oh no, we lost someone. Oh, that's even worse. Well, it's whatever. And that's the end of that. And now we actually get to fight Alprado, and hopefully the RNG is better. But Alprado is easy enough that even with bad RNG, we can pull through. So, he has many 4-star weaknesses if you memorize them. When he holds a sword like this, that is the head unbalance. So go smack him in the head. He's gonna get that next hit off as well, but we're more than set up for it. We pop a Bravestone, get our CP. So in this stance, it is a body shot, which is a 4-star, and that is one big ass unite to his face. So we hit him again, and eat another Bravestone. This gets us to 5 BP exactly. Milsante shoots the body, pops a second unite. 2 unites from Milsante is enough to kill him right off the bat, and this fight is over. Now we prepare for the legendary Fragment section. Fortunately, the fanfare leading up to it doesn't take that long. It's pretty easy. We talk to 2 people with Altina. So let's proceed. So we're gonna go to general goods. Let's speak to these guys. And after speaking to Ren, it points us facing the door, which is very nice of the game, so we can just casually leave and speak to these guys. And that's it. Now we go to bed. Kyo is offering to play us in card games, but we're not gonna do that. And now in the Fragment section, there are many fights to begin. And we're gonna begin with a first battle with Reen and Celine. Celine has one job, which is to impassion Reen and then just like chuck fireballs at the thing. Reen is going to heal us exactly 3 times. He needs 180 CP for the next battle. By using Helix 3 times with Impassion, he will have enough CP for the next fight. If he uses too much, he risks having not enough for the next battle. And 3 Helixes is enough to kill this pretty quickly. No, not instantly, but pretty quickly. So that's all 3 uses of his Helix. This bot also doesn't know how to repair himself, and is pretty decently breakable. So it's broken here, and is pretty much dead. Now we begin the run with the rest of the squad. So here we do some party setup. We need all of new class 7 in fighting shape. So we gotta kick out some members because we're gonna need them. We're gonna need them later. Here we're gonna need a Lisa to have Minotauros. You don't need Scald. That's a bait. You need Mobius, Cannon, Virgo. We do this so we can also reshuffle everybody's master cores. So take Sirius, unequip it, and equip Keeper. You need Minotauros as your sub. Yes, okay. So that's the setup for Team A, which is the most confusing set of setups, but taking some time there to do everybody's inventory correctly will set us up for the future as well. Because those shuffles are actually important. It puts master cores on the right people. This part is significantly easier. We just kick out members of new class 7 as needed. So you take Brigid sub. Sarah's Brigid here comes into clutch because we do need it. We can unequip Soar from Elliot. We unequip master cores sometimes. It's better to have people not equip master cores than have something that's irrelevant. The reason for that is surprisingly simple. We don't want them getting EXP. We never ever use Soar for a speedrun, so why would you keep it on us? Because if it gains EXP and levels up, that's an extra prompt that we have to dismiss, and that wastes time. So it's better to just unequip stuff that we know we won't be using. So after we walk into this store, we're going to trigger 2 OZ fights. Both of these OZ fights are easy as pie. The one mechanical thing here that we have to know is first of all, we S-break after the Forte lands. That's just given. And afterwards, we want to make sure Sarah hits last. The reason for this is because Sarah has the Brigid master cores on her sub slot, so she gains CP on kills. And if she gains some CP from killing these things, that's one less borscht we have to feed her in a bit, which does help her boost consistency in case we get bad luck with our cooking, which can happen. So here we do need 2 Castle Forte, and it is 4 S-breaks to end this fight. It's okay if the Fortes don't hit Muse, because Muse doesn't have a physical based S-craft, so the Fortes on her mean nothing. It is purely for Fee and Laura. And now we walk into Reen's section. He's gonna get 2 friends here to help him in a bit, but first, get that Zephyr out of here. That's heretical. And equip that attacks 3. It's faster to auto set cores because we pick up a very specific amount of stuff and we craft a very specific amount of stuff. We know what's in our inventory at all given times. And if we have a specifically manipulated inventory, we can do core setup very quickly by just using auto set because we know exactly what gets put into where. It's very convenient, but this can also get messed up if you pick up a wrong treasure chest that has a random course and the game just gets completely confused and start putting the wrong stuff on you. As I found out during learning for this, if you pick up the wrong treasure chest sometimes and you don't notice and still rely on quick setting, it's gonna screw you up because then it means like you don't equip an EP3, you don't equip the correct art, you don't equip something that's definitely critical. So we only pick up the treasure chest that we absolutely need. Any extra is gonna be a complication. Did that thing just dodge 2 crafts? My god, they're too good. Because this evaded like every single hit imaginable, first time ever by the way. This is gonna take a bit longer. But that's okay, because this is an OZ and OZs are pretty bad. Let's be honest. Really just pose no threat whatsoever. Now we run into our second leg. So the second leg is pretty interesting here. Team B is going to take charge, and Team B has a very large shopping section coming up. They need to buy new and upgraded weapons because the next set of boss fights are really hard. But to buy all those weapons, we're gonna need money. Unfortunately, we have money. Well, not yet, but we're gonna get money here very soon. That guy's just blocking the door. I'm gonna run into him to disengage immediately. So that little drone here can actually follow us into this room and then engage us and ambush us. It's not a run ender, but if it does ambush us, that's a pretty significant time waste, so we'd rather avoid that. We pick up that free EP cut 3 and an action 3 in the previous sequence. Saves us a ton of time from having to craft it ourselves. We get that dragon instance there purely for 30,000 Mira, and now we're loaded. 30,000 Mira plus all of the sepits we collected over the course of our journey thus far. We're gonna sell them all to afford all the things that we're gonna buy. So first things first, let's make what we need to make. We need to make one La Forte, we need to make a Chronoburst, and we need to make EP Cut 2. And now we sell. We sell everything except water, fire, and time, for the pure reason that we don't need to sell them all yet, and we have enough money from just these. Now we buy stuff. First we sell the Dragon Incense for money, and now we buy 6 weapons. We buy this, where's Kurt? This. Every physical hitter in new class 7 gets a new toy. We're gonna need one for Laura. Where is Laura? There she is. Now we're gonna need one for Eustace. Where's Eustace? And we're gonna need one for him. And then we're gonna buy some ingredients. Max out on salt, potatoes, and onions. Then we're also going to buy a Power Orb 1, a Power Orb 2, and EP Orb 1. These are the only EX Orbs we equip in the entire run. And we're gonna equip them now so we don't forget. And now, it's time for cooking. Sarah can critically cook tasty potato chowder, and she has a chance to make Northern Borscht. Northern Borscht restores 20 CP. We need at least 85. We did not get 85. Fortunately, we don't need 85. Normally this would be bad because we failed the minimum amount required. But fortunately, we're actually good because we don't need to eat as much due to Team C failing their quick kill. So Ring, Crow, and Duvali doesn't have to eat as much. So here we're gonna immediately start feeding Borscht. We don't have enough to 200 CP everybody, so we just put 200 on the people that are actually relevant with them. So Laura is relevant as 200, and Muse is relevant as 200. Elisa just needs 100. So normally this is where I despair, because we need at least 30. It costs 10 Borscht to get everybody. It costs 10 Borscht per person to make them 200 CP, and everybody in Team C does need 200 CP for the next fight. Fortunately, their last fight lasted so long that they have gained enough CP back to make up the 2 Borscht difference. So, no worries. No worries whatsoever. 85 is the minimum to make sure that we can get everybody to the CP threshold they need. If we need to cut corners, we can start cutting corners with Gaius. He doesn't need to eat 7. The reason he's put at 144 instead of 200 or 100 is because he can Golden Howl to make up for the difference. Golden Howl just takes his HP and gives him CP. So we can use that to fill him to 200. But the George fight is easy enough that if we do need to cut corners, we wouldn't feed Gaius as much. Simple as that. And now this is the last group that we need. So we should feed them Borscht, but we don't do it immediately because we're going to pick up an accessory first. And with that accessory, equip it onto Reen. And we can do it in the same menu, which saves us time. So we're not going to feed until we get to the accessory chest. So this is the accessory chest. But also, this is also a treasure chest that we need. So we're just going to grab this real quick. And now we equip stuff. Now we eat. And because that last fight took them so long, this is a pretty easy feeding session. And now we went ahead and triggered the McBurn boss battle. This is going to be a chain of 3 boss battles, starting with Angelica, then George, then McBurn. Let's do it. I just noticed I just noticed Celine's HP. I'm gonna make sure she can survive McBurn. Alright, so this is the hardest one. Hardest one comes up first. So we start our burst when Elisa gets her turn. And now we pop Valiant Hearts, which then leads into this, followed by this. Good. So with these 4 attacks, we end the fight without Muse needing to do anything, which is good because we need Muse at 200 CP. She has to fight Reen right after this, so we cannot afford to spend CP on her. Angelica dies in the smoothest fight I've ever had. And now it's George's time. He is completely useless. The only bad part here is that he can seal us, which he has already done. That's the wrong skill. Whoops. Huh. Well, since we've been sealed, let's chill a bit, shall we? And also, since we misclicked and used Sunder. Oh no. Oh, that misclick is gonna be kinda bad, but it's not the worst thing ever. We're gonna smack him a few times. Taking a very careful look at everybody's stats. Sarah's about to die, so I think it's time we start fighting. Let's pop that, heal off, and go all in. That was enough. And now it's McBurn, somehow the easiest one of the three, because it's a very formulaic fight. Celine in this fight exists for a very unique purpose. McBurn has the True Burn debuff, which if you've ever fought him since Cold Steel 2, has always been the exact same every single time. It is extremely terrifying. But first of all, 3 S-Crafts forces the retreat of the Stall Ritter, so now it's just us and McBurn bro. So Incandescent Hellfire inflicts True Burn, that's 50% of our health for every move we take, except, just kidding, we manipulated our order such as Celine is the next person, 9 lives, wipes away everything. Oh, Crow's dead, oh no, what a calamity. That's okay. As long as Duvali is still alive. You should actually, like, stay alive, I do need you. Now we try to break McBurn. Oh no, Duva's dead! Doobie's dead! Emergency! Emergency! Doobie's dead! Let's revive her. So we do need to break McBurn with everything we have. This should break him. Yeah, good. Pop that off Ines and then do this. So Ines actually survived this, which is unexpected to say the least. But this should be enough damage to finish him off. Yep. Still somehow the easiest fight when everything went wrong. Alright, now we actually fight Reen for real. This is a really complicated fight. There's no way in how I can explain this all in one go. But basically everybody has their own job. Yuna's job is Field Medic. Whoever Reen attacks, she heals as a Tear Bomb. Kurt's job is to drop this buff and then look pretty. Muse's job is to give Altina a boost. And then immediately peace out. So this is arranged such that Ash comes in just in time to catch La Forte, which, you know, in hindsight doesn't actually matter. So now we swap to Crazy Hunt. And because everybody is at their maximum possible strength, we can get these off. And now this is an amazing quick start which gets everybody accelerated back. Ash needs CP, so I'm going to have him attack once. You swap out into Muse, and now Muse needs to survive long enough to drop this buff on herself. We're gonna implement a move order here with Saintly Force buff drops. Do this, and we're gonna give her a Serum Capsule. She is the most beefed up of everybody right now, which means she can do this, and Ash will finish the fight with Speedial Raid. Good finish. And now we do the fight against Leanne and Osborne. Leanne is extremely squishy and she will die pretty damn easily. And now we wait for Yuna to get her turn. Yuna got her turn. Serum powder. We eat several powders here. We just keep on giving Reen the powders because Reen has a perma stat buff for this fight for whatever reason. 2 powders should be enough to force Leanne to retreat. That is the end of Fragments, and now we head into Act 2. So Act 2 begins, and we're gonna start immediately by talking to everybody in Erin for the last time. We're not coming back. We will never return to Erin after this. So this is our final goodbye to the town, as it were. So first we're gonna do a very annoying round of dialogue. So you have to walk around this table and speak to a cat. And afterwards, head out this way and talk to people. Oh, Cerberus, hello. So after these guys are talked to, we jump down into the inn. And because Rin is a chatterbox, one dialogue trigger for some reason isn't enough, and he needs to talk to this table a grand total of 3 times and twice with each group. And then that group is finished. And here we travel out into Limerick General Goods and speak to the church people. And also here, talk to the bros. Now we go to the clearing and we're ready to leave Erin. But first, sup Valor bro. Now we depart. So, on board the Merkaba, we have a few things to do. We still need to talk to more people. So we're gonna do all of this, go to the lounge and speak to Celine. This is a talk order that apparently only I do, but I swear it's faster, maybe, who knows, never really timed it. I swear this is the least amount of backtracking compared to talking to Celine last. Because this puts us right beside the shower, which we do need to take. And then look at ourselves in the mirror. And now we can depart to Breonia. And here we do some party shuffling. We change our party to a very specific group. So, you out. You out. Where are you? You come here, you come here, and you come here. And now we swap to Dunamis. There's a very good reason for this that I will go into a bit later. And you, Emma, need Brigade Virgo. Brigade Virgo. Unequip everything, balance equipment, and this is EP1, this is Chronoburst, and this sets us up for some degeneracy that we're about to see. So here we're gonna do a tutorial section. Even though we're in Act 2, we still have to do tutorials. So here we're gonna learn how to do Demon Unchained. The game won't let us proceed unless we use it. We use Noble Risers to the last of our BP, and oh no, we need BP, so let's eat a Brave Soul. And now we use the rest of our S-Crafts, and we end the fight. So this is the tutorial section in Act 2. Imagine that. And now we fight Crow and Duvali, and we use Emma for... We use Emma a total of 3 times in the speedrun. This is the first. Emma has been given Chronoburst and just enough EP to be able to cast it 7 times, and she also has Brigade for CP regeneration, which makes her a temporary CP battery for the rest of the team, allowing us to infinite loop Crow and Duvali until they die, which is very helpful because Crow and Duvali are both very beefy and they take a long time to kill if we don't do this. Yeah, I'm gonna safety save here in case things go wrong, but things rarely go wrong, so we take these groups exactly for each of them for their own purpose. We do need to wait for our turn because we need to Noble Rise before we start the train of degeneracy, as it were. And now our turns are pretty tightly routed because Noble Rise lasts for 12 turns. Which actually does come up because guess what? We're going to be doing this for a while. And if we can't have Noble Rise wearing out, so our turns are actually pretty tightly calculated. So here we're gonna recast Noble Rise to refresh the buff on everybody, turning our medium-sized buffs into a large buff. That's also why we gave Rin Dunamis, because the way the buff stacking works out, if he has Dunamis, he enters the fight with a large buff as opposed to a medium one, which turns out is the extra bit of damage that we need to squeeze out. And now we need to Chrono Burst just one more time, because this is the end of the fight, so we just blessing twice in a row. And this is the end for Crow. And this strat is so fun and interactive, we're gonna do it again. But first... Rivalry? What's this? Divine Knight battles. We're gonna use Kurt, because Kurt's our best boy. So we're gonna start the fight with double Bravestone. This is a very fun rivalry. It's a 1v1, but at the same time, it is extremely reactionary. There is no set script for this. There's no set script for this battle. You have to adapt based on what you see. In general, if you memorize Ordine's unbalanced chart, so things like, oh, I see him doing this, which means his weak point right now is the head. Like knowing things like this will help you react to this more. Ordine has 4 possible attacks. 2 of them have unbalances on the head and 2 of them have unbalances on the arms. It will never ever be the body. Here I'm gonna eat another Bravestone to prep for the rebuff. That's not the buff button, I misclicked, oh shit. Whoops. That's the buff button. So this stance is once again the head. We have to be careful because we want to be at a specific BP value when he enters half health. Because in half health he enrages and becomes significantly more dangerous. I think we're good here. So in this stance it is once again the head. We can farm a BP off here. And he is going to now enhance, which is bad news bears, but we're healthy enough that this can't kill. I'm gonna repair here, blade dance, and we have 5 VP, huh? That should be enough. Actually, this might kill us, huh? Oh, we didn't die, look at that. We're gonna redstone here, because this is actually better. So neutral stance is armed, that was his neutral stance. So with the break, we can go in for damage, except we can't because we don't have the BP. Probably poor planning on my part, but at the same time, might as well Gale Wraith. So this is once again the head, that's another finisher. Please tell me this is enough. Okay, that's enough. So that was a pretty good Crow fight. It's all about analyzing what his attack stance is and what you can do to counter every move. And you're pretty set after that. So here we're back into the Merkaba, our home base. To begin, we have to accept all of our stuff. So we need to take a very specific party. So we take this, and wait. This, and this, and we do this. So we do need to do one mini quest in order to, not mini quest, we need to do one side quest in order to move on with the game. But first, there's something we have to grab. So in our perpetual hunt for more and more CP, we're going to fight a cryptid. This is a fully optional piece of content, but we're gonna do it because we need it. Buy Corinto and buy the Lux Blade. These are the only 2 upgrades we need. And now we fast travel into Bryonia Island. And now we fight a cryptid. This cryptid drops Leonin's Kiss. It is a lost art which costs all of our EP, but is reducible with EP cut. And it gives us 100 CP globally, which is amazing. We're going to be abusing the crap out of that, so we're going to get it here. Unfortunately, this fight is RNG laden as fuck. So we're going to hope for the best. But the strategy to win this fight is the exact same as our strategy to win the rivalry. I forgot to do something. Hold on. This fight is currently unwinnable because I'm a dum-dum. I forgot to do stuff. Which is good that I realized here, and this is also why I shouldn't be talking. But let's accept that this is now going to go really slow and head back to the bridge because I forgot to do ornaments. You need Minotauros, buddy. You also don't need Chronoburst R. We're going to take that off you for a while. I'm going to give Mobius to Sarah to let it incubate, and we're going to give Gungnir to Elliot to let it incubate. Elliot's never going to be participating in a fight, so he's perfect for giving him a sub-slot and just have him incubated for passive EXP. And now, with our correct setups, Duvali can actually do damage. So, with Duvali now doing damage, let's redo this fight. Alright, now we Noble Rise, and let's go a bonking. Bonk. 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 Gonna get a hit off, which is actually a pretty good time to be taking a hit, because getting hit also gives you CP. Might save us a few procs here and there, you know. Good stuff. Yeah, sure. Yep. I snuck those hits in before Overexplaining wore off. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What? Alright. Auto mode wasn't cancelled, and if auto isn't cancelled, you decide to move out and do random shit. Interesting how that happened. That delay was so long, I thought I missed the auto proc. I didn't. My computer just crapped out and confused me. I blame my PC. That's definitely not my fault. It's like the game crashing, just way worse, because the game just baited me, which is arguably worse than crashing. Anyway, let's try this fight again. So, Chrono Burst, Blessing, Chrono Burst, Blessing, Chrono Burst, Blessing, hit, 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 Chrono Burst, Blessing, Chrono Burst, Blessing, Chrono Burst, Blessing. For safety, I'm going to Raging Fire, because I've run into instances where he doesn't die, which annoys the crap out of me. Alright, so that's done. So after this fight, we're going to receive our first Lost Art in the form of Leon's Kiss. And now we're going to do this. Completely unequip. There is a reason for that. I will go into it a bit later. But first, this is EP Cuts 3. This is Leon's Kiss. Unequip this, prioritize speed, giving her action 3. And now Laura is complete for a while. Now we fast travel to the rest area to do our quest. So now Emma's going to be running without any quartz whatsoever. Did I click sync it over? No, I didn't. We're going to rest here because we also need CP. And while we're resting, so we're going to unequip all of Emma's quartz. We're going to re-equip them back on Emma at the end of the game. But in the interim, she doesn't actually need anything. So we keep her unequipped until the end part comes. It's actually a pretty neat strategy. The fact that, one, we unequip her to free up her quartz so we can equip it on other people, namely Laura. And two, the fact that she has nothing on her ornaments right now means that when we do need her again and we hit auto set, we're going to be running with a much more cracked setup, of course. We're going to have a lot more tools. So next time Emma does need quartz, we can auto-equip her with everything we got, and she's going to immediately become very strong. These groups of cockroaches are a huge buzzkill because they're literally blocking the point I need to interact with. So this is not going to be a good split here. And now we go to Old Aggro Road to end the side quest. So it's faster to dismount, run up the stairs, and then remount because horses cannot run upstairs. Here we get a call from Rosine, and that's the opportunity to start the next set of battles. So we're gonna fast travel back, trigger this cutscene, and commence infiltration. So for this, we need to take a very specific group of people. We need to take Laura, Dually, and then we swap here and we swap here. So now that we keep Laura in the start of our party and we gave her the CP regeneration setup, Laura's role in the speedrun is going to be a very speedy support. We stack all the speed in the world onto her. She has 2 force water slots which are all maxed. So we don't have to spend any seconds maxing them out, which makes it so that she can immediately equip Leon's Kiss, as well as the Sappho Gem that we'll give her later on, making her extremely beefy, hits very hard because her base damage is insane. Excellent Mobius carrier as well, just to power our CP. So in the meantime, the thing we're going to do with Laura is we're going to stack speed. Because she's the first slot in our party, she also gets bias for moving first in fights, and by giving her enough speed, that pretty much guarantees we almost always have first move. Having first move is great because the way speedruns does boss fights, we just win before the enemies can even blink. And if we let them do anything, because some bosses will enhance turn 1 and that's bad. If they enhance turn 1, they take half damage, so if Laura's fast enough, we can take that away from them. We enter Clyde Small and leave immediately, so we leave Clyde Small as a fast travel point for about 30 seconds later. It's faster to fast travel into Clyde Small at a later point in time than just doing what you need to do in Clyde Small immediately. Because of the way fast travel works in the Harbor District, when you fast travel into Harbor District, you get placed at the North Street exit, which is exactly where we need to be. That saves us time from running across the entire Harbor District. If we fast travel into Clyde Small, do our business, and then fast travel back. We're gonna buy Rider Jacket, 1 for Fee, 1 for Laura, the best things in the game. Now we're gonna equip a Dark Emblem onto her, and then move into Harbor Entrance, which is actually on the North Street side, so we immediately turn around and we're in North Street, which is the fastest way to get here, while also doing our business in Clyde Small. Here we're gonna buy a glass coin, which is an accessory that speeds you up. If we see 147 speed on Laura, that means all of our setup is correct. So with 147 speed, Laura is a speed demon, and with her being first in our party, she'll pretty much always go first. Now by heading into this Seabreeze Tower, we get put outside the sewers and we can begin the end of Ordis sequence. Not a lot of time spent in Ordis, but very fruitful. We got the setup we needed for Laura. So here we need to tap 2 treasure chests, 1 for a Brave Seed and 1 for some Sepith. And now we hit this lever, lower the water, or raise the water rather. And we do a forced battle. So in this forced battle, we give no quarter. 4 S breaks end this fight, and we rearrange our party to have the 4 party members that we don't need for the RMP right after this. We do lead with Laura, because if she can land lucky feints, it guarantees the next few hits to be crits, which may or may not end the battle faster. Doesn't really, but you know, makes me feel good. So after this battle, it is also very important that we swap out all the people. So Laura needs to stay in position 1, but everybody else needs to just fill in. The only important part is we put Reen in position 2. When Reen is in position 2, he is guaranteed to link with Laura. And if Reen is linking with Laura, he does not have the Arcus support ability to EP recover. Crow and Duvally, I believe, do. And EP recovering is annoying because it's an extra animation that wastes time. We don't need the EP to be healed. So with Reen linking onto Laura, he will never try to heal her EP when she casts Leon's Kiss, which does save us time in the case that RNG is bad. So we're going to start the fight with Reen and Crow. And now we abuse the power of the Chrono Burst Leon's Kiss. And that's already over. Leon's Kiss being able to be instantly cast thanks to a Chrono Burst allows us to S-break a lot more often than we normally should be able to. So here we call Ashes sold out, give Laura to Crow, and we're going to go for some unbalances. Eat a Bravestone here. Oh no. Oh, that's bad. Now we gotta wait a bit. We'll Sappho Ring for safety. And Criminal Edge ends this fight if I didn't misclick. Alright, well, I misclicked, that's okay. You're supposed to unite there and just win, but I misclicked and didn't unite. So it took me an extra hit. Very unprofessional. And here, it is the final battle. Namely, we do this, and this. I don't remember if you're... no, this is good enough. So that concludes the Ordis sequence. With Chrono Burst Leon's Kiss, you just get way more S-breaks than you normally are allowed, and you can end every fight in the blink of an eye. And now... whoops. So here we once again do need to accept all of our quests and move on. For speed, because the party here doesn't matter, we're gonna take a random party. And now we go to Steinroll's Distillery for our next quest. So for this quest, this is the fastest one. We just take the fastest of the 2 quests that were offered and we do that. For this one, we just need to visit 3 Orbital stores. The first one is in Parm. Say hi. The second one is in Erin. And while we're here, we're gonna make Bravestones because we're kind of low on Bravestones. We're gonna ask him to hook us up. We make all Bravestones, and now the last one is Alberta Macabre. And with everything collected, we go back to Steinroll's Distillery. And the reward for this quest is actually 6 Recuria Bombs. All field, full AoE status recovery, which is great because there are some statuses that can be nasty if landed onto us by the will of RNG. So, you know, it's nice to have 6 Recuria Bombs as fallback. So here we take Fee. Very important we don't screw this up. We take Laura and Angelica. If we take the wrong party, we just softlock. Very, very fun. And now we run into St. Arc. Notably, we don't organize our party because we don't have our full fighting squad here yet. Agate eventually joins us here in St. Arc. So we don't actually need to change our party until he joins us. We could organize our party, but what's the point? When Agate comes in, it's gonna scramble us again anyway. So without the need to immediately do party organization, this part is much faster. We run into St. Arc and talk to everybody we need to. First, the Arkansas actors, and second, the Noble District. Here, I believe we see Marcus Ballard getting dragged in. And now we fast travel to April and talk to Fiona. And now, once again, we go back to Lunacrest Apartments and plan our next move. After this cutscene, we're going to be placed inside Drekner Fortress. So we're going to walk in a bit and start the battles, and then we do our party organization. So we're going to do Laura 1, Reen 2, Angelica 3, Agate 4, and Angelica needs Minotauros. And you two, for the sake of no longer getting EXP on those Master Cores, unequip them. And now it's a run through Drekner Fortress. Don't ambush me, god damn it. So these packs are notoriously annoying because if they run into you, their waves can confuse you, and if you're confused, you just watch in horror as your team butchers each other. Very few things you can do if it actually lands at a bad time. So I want to take some time to aim this. In this first fight. Angelica has the Emblem EX Master Course. She gets Emblem faster than we do. And it is very important here that we let Angelica kill or break as many things as humanly possible. Because Emblem dupes drops. Emblem duping is a very big part of the speedrun because we're so resource starved. We're gonna need to be hooked up with the good goods, basically. So we want Angelica to kill as many things here as humanly possible. She's the only person that can dupe, so we want her to dupe. Oh, yikes. I don't think Angelica can get that kill. So here the thing we want to dupe is U-Material. So we want her to kill as many things as possible so we can get double drops on U-Material. The amount we farm here is RNG, granted, but we want to farm just enough. The more we farm, the easier our life gets, essentially. So it's important. Later on, we get Emblem for ourselves at the end of Act 2, or in the next major story beat, we will get Emblem for ourselves, and then Emblem duping just becomes a major concept for the rest of the run. We don't go out of our way to get supplies, and if we want supplies, we're gonna have to work for them. And doubling all the things that we worked for makes our supply problems non-existent, but only if we do it right. So here we're going to once again Chrono Burst and Leonid's Kiss. Here we're actually going to leave with Laura. Because they're beefy enough that Angelica can kill everything. Except that guy. He's alive. Alright, goodbye. 1000 HP. He lives very little. So there Angelica, on paper, kills all 8 with that setup. But killing 7 is good enough too. So now we do a really quick Divine Knight battle before moving on. And for some reason after this battle our EP gets healed to full. So there's that. So this is an exceptionally easy fight. Wait, Bravestone. And defend. So Alan does a ton of damage, so we actually defend off the earlier hits. We Radiant Wings. With 2 Bravestones, this puts us into Unite damage. We actually haven't heard him yet, but that's about to change with this. There's a reason this split is called one-shotting Alan. And now we move on. So this next section of the run is extremely scary, purely because of this Zephyransis. If he ambushes us, it is game over. He has the nastiest things known to man. All the statuses that can kill you. Fast speed, bulky stats. He's so close to the vent. Please move away. Please don't. Okay, thank you so much. If that Zephyransis runs into you, it is big trouble. It's very hard to recover. Not impossible, you can definitely recover from it. It just takes so much time. Which is, I guess, a fate worse than death, right? Alright, so we're gonna safety save, because this fight can actually go wrong in a very rare way. If Olaf gets turn 1, it is over. I'm gonna reset this. Ideally, you want Lord to go before Olaf. It's okay if Neidhart goes first. It's kind of bad if Olaf goes first. Reason simple. Olaf enhances turn 1. Can you still do the fight? Oh yeah, for sure. You can still win this fight. I just don't know how. Oh my lord. It's admittedly rare for Olaf to go turn 1. He is slower than Neidhart, so he shouldn't move first. I think he's slower than Neidhart at least. I'm gonna wait for that. Okay, pop back on. There we go. That's better. So we're gonna Chrono Burst and then Blast Force. And then Leonins. Yes. And now, very importantly, we want Angelica to go last because we want to dupe both of these drops. There we go. So with that double dupe, we get double Zerum Powder and double Brave Soul, both of which we do need for the future. Brave Soul in particular, we use it a ton, because later on BP becomes pretty tight with how much we spend. We use basically all of them. We have a very small safety net for those. Once again, take all the party, and here we're not gonna be able to take a random party. We're gonna have to take Yuna, Duvali, Tita, Angelica, and swap here. Because unfortunately this isn't just one of those previous side quests where you can just go around and talk to people and finish it. We have to fight stuff. So notably in that last sequence there, we just got enough BP to get Kaleido, and Kaleido is a very important master quartz. So Kaleido lets us get Sepith whenever we land an attack with a craft for an attack, and we need a lot of Sepith for the sole purpose of getting money. We're gonna be pretty broke, and we need all the money we can get because we need to spend a ton of money for some of the game's strongest equipment. And Kaleido just lets us passively generate more Sepith as we hit stuff. We don't make a concerted effort to farm it until Act 3, but having it here and just getting it on people and then passively leveling it up is gonna be pretty good. So here we fast travel to St. Graal, which back in Act 1 we specifically came here for to preserve this fast travel point. Otherwise you have to fast travel to the Yuri Woods and run here slowly, which does take a while. So before we trigger the battle, let's equip Kaleido and go to the depths. So this is a very easy boss fight. 3 S-breaks in this battle. It is Reen, Duvali, and Angelica. Notably, Angelica goes last, because boom, a dupe. Why wouldn't you? That's 6 U materials. So after this cutscene, we actually get warped back into the Merkaba to do this next briefing, and we're immediately ready to infiltrate. So for this infiltration, the leaf section is very interesting. We don't get to choose who to bring. Our party is fixed. So that's going to be a challenge. So far, we always ran with Laura, who we cracked up to be a speed demon. Uses is important for Noble Rise. Duvali does really good base damage. Angelica has an emblem. And for this mission, none of them come with us. So with a bunch of students and Reen, who are admittedly at this stage of the game all totally dead weight, we have to be very creative in how we're going to win the next section. Especially Leaves is very infamous for having a lot of forced battles. Fortunately, we are safe by the existence of two things. One, Randy and Tita joins us later on. Well, Tita's already here, but Randy will join us later on for a good-ish fighter. And two, we get emblem. So first we're gonna rest here because only for Reen, he needs 200 CP. He used the CP against the dolls. We rest here purely for Reen. And then we trigger this cutscene, and now we can go on our way to Leaves. So we're gonna have to do a lot of force fights. The first one's coming up now. We have 8 party members to go through. So that's 8 S-breaks, because we no longer have Leon's Kiss. We're gonna have to cycle these in a very intelligent manner before we get our hands on emblem. There's gonna be an ambush of a bunch of fish crawling up to greet us, and we're going to use Ash and Musei to take them down. 2 S-breaks from Ash and Musei exactly kill all of the fish, and then they retire. We no longer need them for the rest of the section. So here we're gonna walk up a bit, trigger the fish ambush. And then they're gone. We no longer require them. Now we run into Leaves. We don't do our party swaps yet because in the same case as Saint Arc, we don't have our full party with us. On the next map, Randy joins us in the same way Agate joins us. And when Randy hits the party, that's when we do our setup. Alright, so Randy gets in here and you get in here. And now we need to do some setup. You need Minotauros. And I'm gonna steal that, I think. Wait, was it that? I need to check. Nope, it wasn't that. I misremembered. God damn it, it was this. And you need this. You need to unequip this and this, set prioritizing speed, change this into a Chronoburst, and change this into La Forte. And I believe that's all the setup. I'm gonna double check my notes. Yes. That's correct. And now we run into Leaves. I'm taking this a bit slower because I wanna be correct for everybody's sakes, including my own. So now running into Leaves, we trigger the force cutscene. Go out to Leaves Station Square. And now we need to hit 3 different dialogue points. So these are the first 2. The dorm, this empty house, and then 9 valleys. And then afterwards you can start storming the campus. The campus storming sequence is very, very simple and straightforward. This first fight is super simple. We have 2 powerhouses on our team, so we're just gonna use them. So that's that. That's the first fight. And now they're out of CP. Oh no, we still need them. So we're gonna immediately detour and run a completely inefficient route just to get emblem. So we can start regenning their CP for the next battle. We kind of do need this. So with emblem, we're going to give this to Randy and this to Tita. And for now, gonna give this to Reen in his main slot so Reen can dupe drops. And now we swap some 200 CP members into the front and we prepare for the next battle. So this next battle is going to require all 4 S-breaks. Notably, we do Reen last because we just gave him emblem, so we want him to duplicate the drops here. Boom, 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 and the Reen goes last. Dupe these drops, please. There we go. And now we're gonna let not Minotauros, we're gonna let Emblem simmer a bit on all of our party members, because next up we have a Divine Knight battle. So in a sold out battle, Emblem obviously doesn't work, but we do need to run for quite a bit, so why not? Just keep Emblem, hope it regens us back to where we need to be. We're gonna walk into the storehouse, we'll trigger the Merry battle. I'm gonna call the first soldat as is convenient and give Kurt. The weak joint here is arm, so we're gonna hit. Curt buff. We don't have enough. Just gonna Bravestone this. We shouldn't be in danger of dying. We didn't get it. Oh shit. This complicates things. Ooh, close. That was stupidly dangerous. Oh my god, that was so close. And now we fast travel back to the pool. And now we check to see if Emblem has done its job. We hug the right wall, because if we go too far to the left, we trigger a battle that we just do not have the resources to win. We're gonna swap you back into Kaleido. Give you the emblem. What's up? How's the world record coming? It is very slow because I am over-explaining shit, and turns out that slows me down. Switch here, and we can walk in and trigger this battle. So for this battle, we need Blast Force, and we like our BP, so we're also going to eat a Brave Seed. This gets us back to 6 BP with enough CP to win this fight with just 3 S-Breaks, boosted by a Blast Force, which is just about the most powerful Brave Order ever made. It is mind-boggling how strong it is. And now with Altina holding... Altina now holds Emblem main, so Altina will be our duper for a while. And now Emblem goes back on everybody else. We fast travel to the Academy field and proc our next Divine Knight battle against Makarov. This fight sucks ass, because Makarov hurts. He actually really hurts. Like, he can take us out so fast. It is crazy. Oh my lord. I think you need to heal. I mean... So this is no longer gonna be lethal, but... damage is damage. Not gonna say no to that. Unfortunately, this renewed blade dance is a bit too slow. Please tell me this is... Please tell me this is a kill. Yeah, sure. I'll take it. It's not the way you're supposed to do this fight. Also surprisingly slow, but it didn't lose me that much time, purely because I had to heal Yuna. Alright, now we fast travel back to the front entrance of the campus, and with all of the campus stuff done, we're going to go into Einhell Keep, the most confusing dungeon in this game, even when you know the correct routes through it. So in the keep, we do need to do one thing. We need to check that these guys have Emblem healed up to full, so we're going to swap them back to Minotauro so we don't forget later. And we're going to prepare ourselves for the Hell Run. And note that I also took the time to swap Altina as the party leader. Running around with Altina here is important because just like at the start of the game with the St. Graal Labyrinth, there are pillars here that is the fastest to break with Altina. So we take some time to put her into the front of the party. Because once again, to repeat previous information, unlike Kostios 3, in this game, when you swap a character running in the overworld, you actually stop for a second. This isn't the case in Kostios 3, you don't lose any speed by swapping in the field, but in this game, if you swap party members, you stop moving for a second, which is slower. So whenever possible, when we need a specific member leading the party, we do that swap in the menu, or during an animation, or during something that doesn't otherwise waste us time. In St. Graal, we did it while waiting for a door to open, and here we just do it in the menu. It's faster than just like hitting switch a few times in the overview like that. Don't overdo that. See, well, this is a good time to demonstrate that, yeah, you do slow down for a sec when you swap. That was a misclick. Don't misclick back to Reem. So smashing that pillar, we're gonna move forward. There's one more set of pillars that we have to smash. So we're gonna keep Altina at the front of our party for a while longer. This is a right turn. So here, before we jump down, we have to activate this lock. Down there, there are 2 enemies and an extremely narrow corridor, so I'm hoping they don't destroy me. Okay, good. So we have to come here and hit this switch. And now when we turn around, we find the only unavoidable battle in the game. These 2 monsters are blocking the way. It is completely impossible to go through them, so we engage them with a assault attack, and which guarantees a 100% escape, and we flee the battle. That clears them out without us having to fight them. That fight is not avoidable. So we engage and run. I mean, it is better than having them ambush you in that very narrow corridor, which can definitely happen. The room to move down there is so incredibly tight. It is difficult to maneuver through it. So this is Einhao Keep's second half. We have dropped all the EP drain traps, and now we have switched them into dark traps. There are 2 rooms here that will turn off the lights when you enter, which is fun and interactive, I guess. And to turn it back on, you have to hit a light switch. You can't just leave the room behind. You actually have to turn the light back on. Here you go left. The stairs down is actually the way out of here. There is this one enemy here in a very tight, narrow bridge that we have to run through a total of 4 times. If we can avoid fighting him at all, that'd be great, but sometimes you just have to take him out. So here we begin a very long... The Coral demo on the... Oh, what the heck? Tina, can you click this terminal? Okay. Coral demo is the PSN store is hella long. How long is it? Like how far are you allowed to play up to? So here we hit a series of switches to bring us into the next section, and we have to hit them in a specific order. The way I remember it is I follow the lit floor tiles. So here you follow blue, and don't run into that guy. 7 hours skipping cutscene, start of chapter 2. Damn! That is a long demo. Now we run across blue again and hit the previous switch. And that solves the puzzle. So now we run down and go yellow, red. Which brings us back to that earlier ramp, and we're clear. So coming up is the second horseman of the 4 apocalypses of this speedrun. This fucking fight. Oh lord. It is the easiest fight in the game if you get lucky. So it's gonna go horribly, and I'm gonna safety save. It went okay. They did that crap on purpose, getting you into it and then cutting you off. I could see that. The important part and the reason why this fight kind of sucks, Altina needs to kill Michael. Alright, this game hates me. This is why this fight sucks. It is on paper very easy, but sometimes you can just lose. Altina needs to dupe this drop. It is not negotiable. And unfortunately, it is not arranged in a way that is kind to you. Crimson Sin comes out in fall this year. I heard something like that. Like the release window for it was really short. I'm surprised they're putting it out that early. I thought it wouldn't be out for a while longer, and then I heard the release date. So, this way, Altina should be able to dupe Michael. And we can end this fight and move on with our lives. There we go. The easy clap. No sweat. No sweat. So onwards to the Pentagram. The Pentagram is a very infamous section of the speedrun. It sucks. It's like every Kiseki game comes out in September. You know, actually, yeah, you're right. There is a pattern there. We take a random party for speed, and we gotta meet a ton of dignitaries. So we can't afford to be a dirty boy. So we're gonna check our requests because we literally can't leave without this for some reason. And we're gonna shower because we don't want to be dirty in front of all the dignitaries. And now we're gonna take off. So the Pentagram. Boy oh boy, if there is a part of the game that completely sucks major donkey balls, this is it. after a very long section where we just go around talking to people and skipping dialogue, we have to run through a boss rush. And it is the most RNG infested boss rush imaginable. It is not as bad as the prologue where we have the infamous 9% chance to get through it. But it is still really bad. It is bad enough to kill your run. It is not bad enough to get you stuck here forever, but it is bad enough to potentially lose you several minutes to the point where your run is over if you're pushing for a good time. There are very uncalculable messes of RNG in these sections that I will go over them as they come up. Best QL I found in Kuro is the enemies. It respawns enemies in the map you defeated at the save station. That's a thing in the East. I'm surprised it took them this long to put it in Legend of Heroes. In East, if you make a save and reload, the enemies respawn. So here you just go around talking to people. Not terribly exciting, but oh, Reen just like squeezed himself between 4 people there. The social Chad getting in the middle of 4 people's conversation. So here you can actually talk to Celine. Yeah, there's an option you can select. That's pretty neat. I'm surprised it took them that long. Granted, like, there are times where I wondered while I was casually playing through Cold Steel why it doesn't have like the East respawn system where you just save, reload, the enemy's back. It makes grinding a lot faster. Anyway, so with all of the dialogues finished, we're gonna jump into a series of boss battles. We're gonna first arrange our party. We're gonna take these 2 and arrange them like thus. We're gonna take her and arrange this party like thus. The way we choose who to bring are the 4 people that we have Minotauros on, because the Minotauros is a fair and balanced master course. The first boss fight here is drawing a blank. Gareth the Blitz. Gareth the Blitz is insanely easy. You can kill him in 4 S breaks. You don't even need setup. However, you need to do setup because, well, this team can beat up their boss, the other side can't. And we don't have enough BP for the other side. So this side needs to tank a few hits, get a move, and then use a Brave Seed to set up Team B. That's the horrible part because this fight is easy if you don't let them move. If they move, very terrible things can happen. Fortunately, they only get to move twice. If RNG is super bad, you can be hit like 8 times and you just watch yourself die without being able to consume that Brave Seed, which sucks ass. So, that's that. Fight's over, and we got our Brave Seed off. And now we swap to Team B, who is somehow even worse. Altina needs to dupe the drop from Gilbert. And oh boy, Altina does as much damage as an actual mosquito. So we need to do a pretty precise setup, and if RNG is bad for us, Gilbert straight up kills you, which is the really fun part. We set up with the previous party to get ourselves to 5 BP, and we're gonna need to spend 4 to win this fight. I'm praying Laura goes first, but every single run I've ever seen, including the world record time, makes a safety save for this fight because god, it can go so wrong. Ah, shit. Well, maybe they're nice to me. Oh, hell, I'll take it. Alright. Chronoburst. Valiant Hearts. Leon's Kiss. And now we go wild. I don't think this is enough. Oh my god, it's barely enough. So now, we're gonna do some inventory setup. We're gonna unequip the glass coin, we don't need it anymore, for a green emblem, because it's anti-confuse, and we're gonna need that. Not now, but in a bit. Oh, whoops, I forgot to do this. We also need 200 CP on every single person for the next battle. So we're gonna swap out every one of our Minotauros for emblem. As soon as we walk this door, we trigger the boss rush sequence and we won't be able to control these guys again, so we're gonna wait outside the store for emblem to give everybody 200 CP back. Alright, there's 200 CP, we're gonna walk in. And now on the boys team, they all have emblem equipped from the previous menu, so they're gonna slowly recoup while we run to the door. So once we see them all at 200 CP, we open the menu and swap them all back to Minotauros, because we need that damage. Including the girls team, who's already entered the fight, but we can change them here. Now, it is time for the boss rush, containing the third horseman of the run. Do this, do this, do this. Okay. So, first fight, extremely easy. 4 S breaks, we win. Second fight, second worst fight in the game. By bar none, it is god awful. We need 3 S breaks to win the second fight, but we need the 3 S breaks to be buffed. And we need Ellie to buff it, and Ellie has the movement speed of a turtle. And if Ellie takes way too long to do her stuff, then we die. Because Altina's in that fight, and she is squishy as all hell, and Sharon does not take prisoners. With Ellie moving first, which admittedly doesn't always happen, this fight is now a guaranteed victory. Thank God, because you do not want to see what happens when this fight goes bad. So that is the second fight done. The third fight, we immediately start the fight with 3 S breaks, making sure to not press Laura. If we hit Laura's S break, we instantly lose. Shirley is almost guaranteed to start with Murder Strafe, and if she kills someone, it is bad news bears. Shirley didn't get to move. Holy shit, that's amazing. That's so rare, but I will take it. Alright, Chronoburst, Leona's Kiss, this fight is over. Fourth fight. This fight has very rare RNG that can go in your favor, but not all the time, surprisingly. Cedric almost always goes first because for some reason he's really fast, and he has a disorder that halves your damage output. If it happens, we have to burn some turns and wait it out. If it doesn't, we win immediately, which actually saves us like 20 seconds. It's pretty significant. Just kidding, he's always first. Why wouldn't he go first? So now we do need to wait out Vermilion Fervor. We do that by casting Chronoburst, eating an EP charge 1, so we can Chronoburst again. And we're gonna burn the last turn with a La Forte. And once this buff drops, Disorder wears off, and we have an attack up on everybody, which gives us the damage to potentially win this fight. Cedric has a nasty tendency to live on like 2000 HP away. Okay, he didn't live. Good. That's a very good turn of events here. And we're done with the Pentagrowls. Thankfully, no major incidents, thanks to Ellie going first. That's all it takes, really. Alright, now we're in Act 3. Act 3 is the fun part of the game. So Act 3, this is where we start to thinking about building a team that is strong enough to beat the best that the game has to offer. This is where HP bloat starts becoming an issue. Bosses just start entering fights with like ridiculously high HP bars. And in the speedrun, we're not in the market to have interactivity in boss fights, so we're going to find a way to end them as fast as possible. So first we're gonna go around the Pentagrow and talk to all the major story events. And while we're talking, I'm gonna explain my strategy. So our strategy for the rest of the speedrun is going to be building a single team that is powerful enough to delete just everything the game has to throw at us. We do that by abusing the master cores that we've collected and built up to now. Specifically, we use Minotauros, which is your standard jack-up damage master cores. We use Gungnir because Gungnir can inflate your critical damage, and we're going to use Fee, who can guarantee herself to have criticals, thanks to her ability to stealth. We're also going to finally be giving the Mobius that we've been incubating on some inactive party members. We're finally going to have a see combat use. By now, Mobius has leveled up to level 5 thanks to so many people holding it without actually participating in battle. We give Mobius to Laura, and Laura becomes our drug dealer. She is going to spread Zemurian powder and capsule and start munching on them until the game ends, like her life depends on it. So we can squeeze in extra S breaks. That on top of her ability to Chronoburst Leona's Kiss for 100 CP more onto everybody else makes us have access to like 10 to 11 S breaks in the course of a single battle. And no enemy can stand up to that amount of damage output. And that is going to be our core strategy for the rest of the game. So, the first destination in Act 3, once we're done talking to everybody here, is going to be the Luna Sanctuary. And that's where we're going to put this plan into action. So once all of our dialogues are gone, we can fast travel back to the bridge, get this announcement, speak to Oliver, and take off. Notably, in our journey, we also shower really quick as 3F, and the showering Kratos 2 is overpowered. It gives us 200 CP instead of 100 at the Merkava because the church's bathwater is not as potent. So we do get 200 CP every time we shower at the Courageous. Unfortunately, the shower is really far. It's on the 3rd floor, so we don't actually use it past this point because we don't have time to go to 3rd floor. We can just get CP another way. So now we're going to take our core. So we're going to take Fee, this guy, and this guy. And now we're going to arrange our party like this. And these are going to be the 4 cores that we're going to run with. So first, many things to make. So we're going to make some basic stack cores. We're going to make this. We're going to make this and this. We're going to open 1 Laura slot because we need this to cover a Sappho gem. And sell all of our... Oops, nope, not the right one. Sell all of our Mirage and our Sepis Mask for money. And now we start changing ornaments. We're gonna need to borrow an attack 3. We're gonna need to borrow these ones. So this needs to become Kaleido, and this is Minotauros. Yeah, we're gonna fully unequip her and prioritize speed. So from now on, Fee is going to be our speed demon. We're gonna remove Tempest and give him the emblem. Unequip this, give him some physical damage. This becomes Dragon Vision. And that's good enough for now. There's one more setup that we have to do. But first, weapon upgrade. We haven't bought new weapons for these guys, and we're gonna need as much power as we can put on the table. The other thing we need to buy is Floral Bottles, because this is anti-confusion. Rosalia can guarantee 100% inflict confusion, and she will do it first every single time. And we can't have that noise. We're also going to dump all of our U material into Bravestones, putting us up to 22 Bravestones. And we're going to munch just about every single one of them in all of the Divine Knight rivalries that we're going to partake in. And now it's a straight run up to Vita with all of our setup. So Vita is how we test our setup. If we screwed up this setup, we will know because Vita will be impossible. If we kill Vita with the strategy that we know how to do, then we know that we have set up correctly. So I also like to safety save here just in case I mess something up. Alright, so let's test our strategy here. We're going to use Concealing Wind on Fee. And now, it's Noble Rise. We're gonna go in with all of our S breaks. And now, if we cast Leon's Kiss, and we have everybody S break, not only do we win the fight with exactly Gaius, so we can duplicate her drop, which is a Sappho gem. I'm gonna take this a bit slower to make sure. Yes, we got the double Sappho gem, which we need. We cannot finish the game without it. Gaius gets emblem for that dupe exactly. Well, there's one more dupe he needs to do, but these dupes are important because there's no way in hell we can afford a Sappho and a Carnelia gem normally. So we're gonna get them off Vita and we're gonna get them off Aurelia. Oh, wrong way. The other thing we need is money. We need to spend 350,000 Mira after this section. We don't have 350,000 Mira. We have barely 100,000. So we're gonna need to find money. Fortunately, Dragon Instances sell for a ton of money, and we can pick one up here. We can also get 2 Dragon Instances from Rosalia if we emblem dupe it. So we're going to have Gaius last hit both Aurelia and Rosalia. So here, if our setup is correct, it will go the same way as last time. Kaleido on Fee. This is where we actually farm money with Kaleido as well. And let's trigger the fight. Aurelia and Vita are surprisingly identical in strategy. We kill them with the exact same way. So Noble Rides, everybody go. If this worked for Vita, it will 100% work for Aurelia as well. It also helps that Gaius inflicts absolute delay, the most broken mechanic ever invented. AT delay regardless of circumstance, it is completely busted. And that is both Vida and Aurelia dead, and that gives us the quartz we require to set up for the future. So here, we do our setup again, but we also start setting these up. So prioritize physical here. This is now revolution. You need Mobius and take an emblem. This shield one becomes Sapphiral. This La Forte becomes Sapphiral, and you also need emblem. And so unequip this, prioritize physical. And what else does he take off? Hold on. Nope, it's just that. Okay. I think so. I'm gonna check my notes. Yeah, okay. So that's good. So here at this Orman station, we're going to sell stuff. We're going to sell all of our Sepith. This brings us to 238,000. Not quite enough, but we're gonna be fine soon. And now we give Fee Gonir to boost her damage. And everything is... So everything should be fine. Let's engage Roselia. Concealing Wind. Noble Rise. So Roselia is a bit tankier than the other two, so our strategy is not going to work. But thankfully, Laura has evolved into a drug dealer. So that's going to be the extra bit of damage that we can squeeze out. Hey Neo, welcome to the chat. So with that extra bit of damage, we should have calculated this fight exactly such that this hit kills Roselia. And that is good because Gaius, being our emblem wielder, will dupe Roselia's drop. Good news, I'm better after talking with a friend. Good for you, Dan. I'm glad to hear you're doing much better. Alright, so after that is done, we're going to take a random party and move on. So because Gaius got that last hit, he has duped Dragon Instance. So now we have 3 Dragon Instances in our inventory instead of 2, which is going to make this section a hell of a lot easier. We're going to come to Becky and say hi, and we're going to sell everything. Alright, so that gives us 328,000. Now we're going to exchange the rest. And hey, look at that. That's the exact amount of money I said we need. So we're going to buy 4 Passionate Rouges, but we don't equip them yet. Now we're going to go to the infirmary and spend every last bit of our money on Power Potion 2s. We no longer have Borscht because we got really unlucky in the Black Workshop. We did not cook enough Borscht. So we're going to have to rely on Power Potion 2 to fill in Fee's CP. Because the strategy is to have Fee use Concealing Wind at the start of the fight, she needs at least 140 CP to begin every single battle, but unfortunately she always recovers with 100. So for the rest, we're just going to feed her some potions. So now we take these 3, and we don't put Fee in the party yet. There we go. That's the correct order. So this is the welcome party. And we're gonna 4S break and clear this. So after this, Reen is immediately benched because at the present moment he is still kinda garbage. And we don't want him in our party yet. So with the welcome party down, we're going to move on. But first, we're gonna swap Reen out for Fee. We're going to equip Elisa because she is required for the next battle. So we're gonna give her our Chrono Burst. Checking everybody's setups, good. And now equipment, Fee will equip double Passionate Rouge. He will equip double Passionate Rouge, and Fee needs some Power Potions. Just kidding, we have 4 Borscht left over, wow. So Fee needs at least 130 CP, Concealing Wind costs 30, and she needs 100 to S-Break right after. So we feed her up to just a little bit, just enough to cast Concealing Wind. And now it's a sprint through the Pentacle as we arrive at our next destination, which is against the Lacrosse players in the most confusing fight of all time. This fight is confusing because it is on paper one with a very specific setup, but it's weird. It's so weird. I'm gonna safety save because this fight has a tendency to go wrong, like really wrong. Okay, so to start this fight, we're going to Power Potion 2 up on Angelica. This gives her a stat boost, and she's gonna kick immediately. And now you Chrono Burst. Give her the Serum Powder. And Gabriel Arrow. Should finish the fight. Good. So with that fight done, that is, I kid you not, Elisa's last combat of the game. We will never use her again. Alright, so with that done, we just check our party real quick. Laura does not have full CP. She has a whopping total of 4. Definitely not enough to cast a Nest Break, but luckily we don't need to. The next fight aboard the Pantagruel is against George and Sharon. George has historically been the easiest boss fight of all time, and here that's no exception. Sharon has historically been the second easiest boss fight of all time, and here that's also not an exception. In fact, the way that this fight can go wrong is Fee killing them too fast. Ideally, you want the dupe with Gaius' emblem, so you want Gaius to get the last hit on them. But they're both so squishy, they die so fast that it's not necessarily a guarantee. Fortunately, the dupe doesn't actually matter. It's a nice to have thing. So I would be a lot more mad about this fight if it wasn't an optional dupe, but thankfully it is. So we're gonna go into this fight, which is a very set order. So the other thing we have to pay attention to is how much BP we have. I think this should be good. Yeah, you know what, screw it, let's go. So Laura can Chrono Burst. I mean, we do have this, but we don't need the Zero Order. Let's eat a Brave Seed for good measure, because we're gonna need them. And then Leona's Kiss. Please tell me this kills. Okay. I mean, this is a slightly modified way to fight this, but I don't mind it at all. Next up is a big-ass robot himself. A very annoying fight. We're forced with Muse as a co-pilot, which is fine. Muse is very strong. The bad part is Muse is also squishy, and this guy hurts. Yikes. Okay, well, I tried to sneak in some damage. Well, 7 BP is not bad, actually. So with Ray, we can buff. So it's very important we take note of his stance. He can do a total of 5 attacks, and each of them has a different unbalance across the 3 body parts, so it's very important that we memorize exactly which one is which and react accordingly. Here we can just Lordly Flare. Maybe? This is the part of the fight where I'm like, am I doing this right? Let's repair Reen just in case, and we're going to Crescent Slash. When his knees are bending and he's targeting both, that's when you Crescent Slash, because he doesn't really have a good unbalanced part. I'm gonna eat a Bravestone here, he's gonna trample and that's gonna hurt. Yikes. I mean, this part is a leg weakness, that I know, so we're gonna heal up Reen, and he's going to smack the leg, do this. If Muse unites here, it should be a kill or a break. It is a kill, that's good. That's very good. So now we're done with the Gargantua, so now we're moving on to the actual rivalry. The people we take are gonna be this guy, and this girl. And arrange our party as us. So right now Reen is still a little bit too useless to justify taking with us, but we don't need Reen because we have Angelica, and Angelica is extremely overpowered. So here we're going to fast travel into Hamel, which actually does save time, and we're going to begin our rivalry battles. So both Angelica and Gaia still have Emblem, and we need to dupe drops. That's very important thing to do in here. And because we ended with 6 BP, we're gonna have a very smooth sequence here. Normally we don't enter with 6 BP, we have more than we need. Just from previous RNG going well. It's rare that this happens, because usually what happens is you enter the fight and you don't have enough BP after Leo. So Leo, you actually have to drag the fight out a bit longer to use a Brave Soul to get back up to 7. But because RNG was fair to us, we had 6 BP. That's 1 Noble Rise for every single battle in here, which is really good. So, Xeno, what up, bro? So, Concealing Wind, Noble Rise, and we smash his face in. And because we have 2 emblem carriers with us, either Gaius or Angelica finishing the kill will get us the dupe, which is very convenient. And here, notably, Laura doesn't actually need to fight. So one thing I've noticed, and I don't think other runners do this, is I just give her emblem. Because normally here you count on ingenuity to give her enough EP back as you run to the next target, but emblem heals you up so much faster. And Laura doesn't actually need to use her S-Break. So why not just swap her off Minnow for a while? Here we grab a Stone's Chest and we go into a fight that we didn't ask for. Excellent. Alright, bye-bye. And now we're going to run up to the Behemoth, Leonidas. So for this next battle, it's the exact same battle script as Xeno, because for some reason they're equally tanky. Even though Xeno is scrawny as hell and Leonidas is jacked, they have the same HP. We just go for the dupe, but before we do, Fee needs her Gungnir back to do the damage. So let's go Noble Rise, Concealing Wind. Excuse me. And I regret to inform you, this fight's already over. Even when you do that, this fight is already over. Alright, so next up is Ruger. So with Ruger, he's actually quite a bit tankier than these two, as expected. So for that fight, there's actually a fair bit of RNG involved in it. It depends on if he goes first or not. Ruger enhances turn 1. If he enhances turn 1, he takes half damage for a while until we break him. Breaking him is pretty easy. The difficult part is finding the damage to still win afterwards. Fortunately, we have enough damage to spare. We don't need... How much? Okay. Yeah, we don't need all the rotations we have. 1 rotation of S-Breaks plus a Mobius boosted Zerum capsule from Laura is enough to end the fight if he doesn't go first. If he does go first, then we need to do one more round with Leon's Kiss. He did not go first, which means that this fight is now over. It's very rare that he doesn't go first, which I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. Alright, that's Ruger down in record time. And now we fight the real battle against Zector for the last time. So with this rivalry, we swap these two and you can have that. We give the 2 big buffers. So we're gonna Bravestone and Bravestone. The point is to stall for Laura. It is always body and neutral, so... Bravestone. Buff. This is arm, because he's poking his arm out at me very aggressively. That's genuinely how I remember this, I'm not joking. Alright, Crow, don't die. Just literally, whatever you do, don't die. Okay, that's good enough. So we repair the seal off him. And let's see, what can we do here? We can howl, it's fine. This is also arm, because he's poking his arm out very suggestively at me. So this is a Bravestone. This is a Bravestone. This is a buff. This is another unbalance. This is a helix into a kill. Well, not exactly a kill, but it gets us pretty close to it. And that's Zector down. Very, very easy rivalry. Once you know what you're doing. The interesting about these Divine Knight battles is, because normally speedruns have very dedicated catered setups to end fights as fast as humanly possible. Not the case for Divine Knight battles, because you don't have like your Orman setup and all that. I'm actually a fair bit weaker than I should be, because my Ormans inside the Divine Knights are a mess. I have attack 1, attack 2, and EP 1. I'm willing to bet every single casual player playing this game either has higher level Divine Knights or much better EX orbs. But Divine Knights are set with such static stats that doesn't actually matter. You can still win really easily. Just because I don't think when Falcon made this game they consider how insanely OP the Bravestones would be, because you can just spend U material on Bravestones and you just win every single Divine Knight battle. If I was playing casually and I had a much better setup, Bravestones would be even stronger than this, which is insane to think about, because these are already like some of the most balls to the wall numbers you can possibly hit. Oh, I need to PP up Fee. So here is Orcus Tower. We were here at the start of the game. But now the tower is fully operational, so we need to go around and hit a few switches to take it down. These delves are still as annoying as ever. I do not forgive you for scarring me during the prologue, so I'm gonna try my best to avoid every single battle. There's a fair bit of extra stuff to run through, but the layout is still exactly the same compared to when the Libero and SSS crew ran through this. It's just that we had to go through a few extra rooms. Thankfully, it was very easy to remember layouts. So it's a smooth run up to the top. So here I can talk about the next battle in more detail before we get into it. The next battle is against Victor Arcade and McBurn. It is a surprisingly easy battle. It is complicated by two factors. One, we cannot let McBurn go first. McBurn is hard-coded to use Sataniel Illumination on his first attack. Sataniel Illumination drops you to 400 HP and inflicts true burn on you. If we have that little HP, the fight is immediately over and we cannot afford to come back. In the casual playthrough, you can take time to heal up. We do not have such luxuries on our hands. So we need to make sure McBurn doesn't go first. What that means is we need to open the fight with Gaius. When we open the fight with Gaius' S-Break, it inflicts absolute delay and it drags McBurn a bit down the ATQ, and then we just kill him before he gets to move. Second, we need Gaius to also get the last hit, because McBurn and Victor both have very valuable battle drops that we need to dupe his emblem. These are very important dupes, we don't want to miss out on them, but Gaius do need to go first and he needs to go last. So we need to calculate our damage pretty precisely in order to make sure that we damage them enough, but not enough to overkill in the meantime. Fortunately, I don't have to do any of this math. People much smarter than me have figured out the kill order. All I have to do is follow it and not mess up. So let's see how that goes. So let's go to the upper level. Before we take the battle, we need to stop by this Orman station and get ourselves an upgrade. Hello. You may be asking, what money do you have? Well, right here. Now we have money. Gonna buy weapons for our Fantastic Four and begin the battle. We are gonna save, because if McBurn goes first, it's kinda rough. Okay, well, we're fine. Nobleize. No, we don't need to Nobleize. Let's do this first. Just to delay them. Okay, now we Nobleize. Concealing Wind. Fee goes. Ring goes. Chrono Burst. Leon's Kiss. Fee goes and Gaius finishes. This should be exactly enough damage to win. Beautiful. And now we're on to the Stellar Sanctuary. There's a bit of a run ahead of us. We have to go through Lake Elm Wetlands 1, the part we saw in Act 1. But on the run there, I'm going to talk about the first battle. The first battle is against Anea the Sharp. It's the exact same battle as when we last fought her in... Whoops. Hold up. It's the exact same battle as when we last fought her in Azure. She starts with the goons on the ground and then joins the battle after goons are dead. Unfortunately, for a speedrun, this is really bad. It scrambles our battle order, and that's no good. When it scrambles our battle order, we can't necessarily control who goes win. And if we have bad turn order RNG, which we almost always do, and then enhances, we can't get a kill, she wears us down, we die, and it's horrible. For this reason, she is the fourth and final quote-unquote horseman that can kill your speedrun. We've been through enough that this is probably no longer a big deal. We could probably recover. The thing that complicates this fight, on paper, this fight is completely free. The thing that complicates it is that we need to Brave Seed during this fight, because we don't have the BP to kill Ines and Leanne afterwards. That's the part that complicates the battle. If we did not have to squeeze out an extra turn to put in a Brave Seed, this fight would be very free. But we do. For some reason, the most random and scrambled fight is the one that we have to spend an extra turn using an item on. It's just the right amount of chaos sprinkled into the run that makes the fight very wild and unpredictable. Normally, that's where the fun part of the speedrun is, things that make you react on the fly. But unfortunately, for cases like this, you are given so little control that it's not so fun now. Like, if the things just don't go right, oh man, this sucks. It actually sucks. So with Excel Arrow, it means we have to forcefully delay them, because if these Sleipnirs get a turn, it is just dirt nasty. Alright, so we Brave Seed. We can't Brave Seed, we have to Brave Soul. Yeah, so let's Brave Soul. Yikes, Doobie's fainted. You know, that's a good freaking start, right? No, you have to do this. Okay. So this is now my improvisation coming in. So let's do Noble Rise. We need to get Duvali off the ground. So Curia her. And then we end this phase forcefully. Okay, now she's on the ground. Ooh, let's do this. CB, Leonis. Oh yeah, the last part that makes this really annoying. The dupe here matters. We need Gaius to get the last hit. Oh, thank God she didn't. Holy shit, that was so close. Yeah, this fight goes. This fight is very wild and unpredictable. This is a super wild and unpredictable fight. I'm glad I got it in one try though. So there's that. And now we run to Ines. So let's talk about Ines while I run to her. Very strange fight because you think she'd be slow. She is not slow. She can straight up kill you before you get to move. That unfortunately is total RNG. If she just decides to put like 2 or 3 moves in a row and then one of them is Helm Splitter or Heavy Smash and then delays you, I mean, you just have to blame yourself. Blame RNG for not smiling upon you or something like that. But other than that, it's a very easy fight. The script for the lucky thing is, ooh. Uh-oh. Oh shit. That's new. I guess the lucky part is with Ines, the dupe is fully optional, so we don't actually have to care about Gaius getting the last hit, which is refreshing. But still, it doesn't really diminish the fact that, God, this fight sucks. This fight sucks when you're when the game just decides to make you have a bad day. Okay, we win. We go first, so we win. So here we CB Leonis and then we win the fight. If she dies early to feed, the dupe does not matter. Ideally I want it, but okay, good. Dupe doesn't matter, but it helps. Alright, so now we emblem back on everybody. Wait, why did I emblem Doobie? Nah, well, I'll swap it back. So now it's a run up to Leanne. And Leanne is surprisingly also very simple. There's not much required for Leanne. It is simple math. All the combos that we made for Ruker, everything will still work for her. The thing is, the extra round of S-Breaks this time is not optional. Leanne is quite a bit tankier than Ruker. So here we go. We also need to be very careful about when we Noble Rise, because as we found out the hard way, if this buff falls off early, we don't have the damage. Despite this fight on paper being easy, it is... The calculation is pretty tight to make it happen. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so with this, we Noble Rise. And now Laura will capsule everybody. So this will wear off the Noble Rise buff because everybody is hit twice. Noble Rise lasts exactly 2 actions. And now we can supplement that buff being missing with Leanne's Kiss. And if we do this right, Laura doesn't need to attack, which is good. That's a sign that we got it right. And now we begin the next rivalry, which is against Argreon. Same as last time. The only thing about Argreon is it's almost always arm, with the exception of Stern Lancer, right here. If it's Stern Lancer, we have to do this. Okay, so let's Gravestone. Heal. We shouldn't unite this, but we unite this. And hopefully we don't die. We're dead. Alright, goodbye, Crow. Nice knowing you. No, just kidding. We're alive. Ah, life is wonderful. This is head. Unfortunately, I don't trust that. That's 3 stars, so we're gonna brace throw this. So with that break, we have won. If you break Argreon, Argreon just goes AFK for like a long ass time. Like she just goes dormant for forever. We win. Alright, so those are all the rivalries outside of Tuatha De Danann. So now we enter Eventide. And Eventide is just about the worst way to play Eventide imaginable, where we don't date anybody and we just run to the end. Everybody is partying and Reen just goes to bed. So let's do the most efficient Eventide possible. First, since we have Aurelia here, Aurelia actually has a very nice gift for us, so we're gonna go out of our way to pick that up. First, we're gonna equip Keeper on Reen. The reason for this is hilarious and sad at the same time. Because Reen is so underleveled, he physically cannot pass the trial. He will... when he duels Cassius, he is gonna fucking die. Like, his levels and equipment is so bad that if you just have Minotauros in this case, you lose, and there's nothing you can do about it. So we swap him into Keepers, just to make him tanky enough to survive against Cassius. It is hilariously sad how weak Reen is. He cannot even pass the own test that is scripted to be borderline unlosable. But here we spend all 5 of our tickets because it is required to progress. Becomes Divine Blade barely. Becomes a Divine Blade by cheating. By being virtually unkillable thanks to a Master Course. Alright, now we're gonna take the test. So if you didn't swap off Minotauros, this is where you soft lock. Funny times. Alright, so now we need to use all of our crafts exactly once, and then as soon as we do, we take turn order, we learn a new craft, and we use it, and that's it. And that is the end of our trial. So we do need to put Minotauros back on him, but we don't need to do it immediately. There's a little bit of menuing before we finish and go into the finale sequence, because we need to prepare for our next battle, which is against Argris, because we need to see true ending for the speedrun category, so we have to kill Argris. So Argris is the next battle that's coming up for class 7. So we're gonna have to do some setup. But first, we're gonna end our free time in the Eventide section and head off into the salt pail. So before we begin, let's do the inventory section required for this class 7. So we need to grab these people. So menuing time. We give her the Goldia bracelet that Aurelia gave us. Equip this onto her, and orbits. So Reen takes Minotauros back. Fee, PP up to 140. We have to check our request before we can move on. And I believe that's all. So let's commence our operation. Oliver, let me talk to you. Alright, so this is the salt pail. No management is required whatsoever. We just run to the end with everybody. This is the perfect team. So funnily enough, I brought this up many times in the past. Every single piece of gear, equipment, course, accessory level, EXP, stat, everything here is set. If you are playing this game casually, you will have the exact same power level as I do right now, which is rare and basically never happens. I'm always significantly weaker than someone in a casual playthrough, except this part. So you think that makes me overpowered. Unfortunately, it's just about the opposite. This is the worst section in the game in terms of just raw combat potential out of the team you have. Because you don't get to pick who is with you, people here have varying degrees of power. They go from anywhere between completely game-breakingly overpowered to like the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. There is almost no middle ground here. A team is either extremely bonkers, or they have to fight a team, or their boss fight is like pulling teeth. There's no... oh god. So like the SSS, for example, casually, I think this team is absolutely broken. This team is obscenely tanky, they can cover each other's weaknesses, they can do just about anything, and they can kill everything given enough time. Time is not a luxury for me. In terms of killing something fast, Ellie literally doesn't do damage, Tio barely does any, Randy is the hard carry, and Lloyd is Lloyd. Lloyd doesn't die, but he also can't kill people. Team C is also another can of worms that I'm not gonna open right now, because I'm gonna suffer on camera in about 5 minutes from now when I pilot Team C through this damn mess. But Team B, I would enjoy this team a lot more if this wasn't a speedrun. If your best attribute is not being able to die, it's not really a good attribute for a speedrun. Because nobody dies in the speedrun. Alright, so this is Aurelia's team. You have the most powerful team in existence. Toby and 3 randos that he picked up on the streets. But with Toby in our team, nothing can stand up to us. But the funny part is, the other 3 people on this team do so much damage that Toby sometimes doesn't even get to attack. So there's that. This team also has the fastest and shortest salt pail. I don't know why. Their runs through the pail is the shortest by far. Now it's Duvali. So Duvali is very interesting. Duvali herself is fairly strong. We've used her quite a bit in the speedrun thus far, and you know, this is the last time she shows up in this game. Now she's definitely proven her worth. She's definitely pulled her weight. Unfortunately, her 2 partners are basically 2 doorstops because they have no S breaks and they have very crappy warders. And that's one. And Ness's breakwater is decent. We actually use that one here, but Enea has barely any redeemable qualities. Fortunately, we have Leo. Leo is literally a one-man army. He is teed up but stronger in every single way, and we're gonna abuse Leo to solo carry this fight. And when I say solo carry, I mean it. He is gonna solo carry this fight. And finally, we have this mess. Yeah. This team consists of Angelica, who has also, in the same way as Duvalie, proven her worth. We've taken her as far as Ruker. She can definitely hold her own. She has finally fallen off at the worst time imaginable. She is quite irrelevant at this stage in the game. And unfortunately, the 3 cronies she picked up doesn't really do you any favors. Rosalia is amazing at playing the stalling game, and the speedrun hates the stalling game. And if you want a speed kill, none of these guys can do any form of damage. So let's begin with these fights. Let's begin here with Team A. Very simple fight here, actually. We're gonna have to Chrono Burst. Brave Soul. Chrono Burst again. Blast Force. Now we need to chill a sec and farm some BP, and this should be a kill. Alright, so this team is over thanks to Tita's Brave Order being overpowered, and now Team B! Team B, everyone, give it up for Team B! Alright, so Team B has one person that can do damage, and that's Randy, so good luck, buddy. So we're gonna actually feed him serum powders until his mouth explodes, because yeah, we're gonna need that. We're gonna bait out Void Howl, and there's a Crescent Mirror. Lloyd, his job is to cast La Forte. Teal's job is to chip his Albion Wolf. This should be fine. And what the hell do you even do from here? Oh, right, you do that. You Warcry, and using this, go that. So this should bounce into his face because of the guard. Good. This is once again the Serum Powder on Randall. We should be careful to not over damage. You know what? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Ideally, I want Randy to get one more move, but it's not in the cards. Oh, we actually broke him, so Ellie can finish with her dinky little pistol. Alright, so that's Team B, and now, holy shit, this team. So, the one saving grace is that 3 members in this team all have a decently high level art that we can chuck at the enemy. And Rosalia has the Brave Order Crimson Pageant, which allows all EP costs to be lowered to 0. So we're gonna spam Zero Cannon, Lost Genesis, and everything at his face until our teeth fall out. If we had BP, we don't have BP. Alright, there we go. Now we have 1 BP. We're gonna cast our 1 BP. Alright, we may need to farm some BP off this guy. We need 7 BP before the end of Team D. And right now we have 0, which doesn't really bode well. I'm gonna chill here, and I know this is slow, but you know, this team is slow, so what the hell do I do about it? I'm gonna need to farm some BP. I think 4 BP will be a good start. I'm gonna get up to 4 BP. Okay, fine. Just give me 3 BP. Alright, whatever. You had your chance. Alright, so we'll just have to farm extra hard in Team D. He lived! Oh, baby! Alright, this team can't kill shit. Okay, so that's over. That's over and done with. So here we power potion to Leo because Leo is overpowered as all hell. So we're just gonna abuse that a bit. Titan Cleaver from Ines, followed by Calamitous Arm. And now if we powder him and do it again, he breaks the boss. Because that arm is incredibly busted. And here we farm BP. We need 7. We need 7. We need 5 for the next team to cast Vita's Brave Order. And we need 2 to fight Argris, which is right after this. Seems like we have exactly enough. Alright, that's that. So, this guy. The guy who drew the short straw, as it were, because holy fuck, I feel so bad for him. Alright, sir. Good night, sweet prince. He never had a chance. 16 seconds. Alright, Argress! Yay, Argress! Okay. So, if you've beaten the game once before, that's why we need a clear save file for the speedrun. This guy just spawns here, so we can enter the portal and fight him. So we take Laura, Gaius, Fee, and do this. Yes, okay. So, the tricky part about this fight is Toby invites himself into our party, and we don't actually want him. So, we're gonna swap Toby out at our first possible opportunity, which is right now. Okay, get out. So we're gonna conceding win and let him hit us. Okay, and now Noble Rise. Brave Soul. So this, please let this be enough. There's a chance this isn't enough, and then you're just dead. Fun feature. Fortunately, Argress doesn't drop anything, so the dupe here is irrelevant. Good. Okay, he's dead. Oh, thank God. I was panicking there. So with that dead, we are now assured to get true ending. And now it's time to enter Tuatha De Danann. But first, we sell shit, because we need to be fully geared. We sell these for money. And now we buy weapons. So we buy every single weapon that is physical. So we don't buy Warbow guns, we don't buy Warbow weapons, we don't buy Warbow bows or staves or combat arms. Combat shells rather, what the hell? Combat arms. Because every single member in this team will be in a fight. So every single one of them needs the most up-to-date equipment. And finally, we need to make Bravestones. This is the last amount of Bravestones that we're ever gonna get. So now we need to put emblem back on people. And I don't remember the party. I'm gonna have to look this up. So do this, do this, do this, and do this, and this. Right. So the first fight in Tuatha De Danann, which is why we do these party setups. I need to remember why we swapped in Sarah though. The first fight is against Claire and Lecter. Claire and Lecter requires Ashe and Altina to be in our active party. The gimmick here is definitely swapping people in and out so that they are in our party exactly when we need them to enter each and every single battle. The good news is Claire and Lecter is actually the easiest one because they're both really squishy. Even if Altina and Ashe die right off the bat, which is entirely possible considering we've been neglecting them until this point, Fee and Reem by themselves is enough to win. So this kind of safety net doesn't last forever, unfortunately. We are gonna have to run into fights where like, oh, Eustace has to pull his weight, even though Eustace hasn't fought a battle since Crossbell, like the Act 1 in Crossbell. And he's gonna have to fight Rufus, and we're not gonna be able to swap him out in time, so we're gonna have to use him. So things like that's gonna come up, but for Claire and Lecter, it's quite simple here. We just hit with Reen and Fee. The other two aren't required. They're just here so we satisfy the requirements to begin the battle. And this is the fight without a rivalry right behind it as well, so it's just like two humanoid, like fighting two humans, and then that's it. No Divine Knight battle afterwards, which is very convenient as well. Alright, so here we go. We're going to engage Claire and Lecter. Whoops. So this fight can be kind of nasty because of all the statuses that they can throw out, including Death Blow, Freeze, and Confuse. So let's just try to avoid all that. Fee is gonna go first. We're gonna conceding win and wait for the next turn. And hopefully nothing nasty happens. Okay, that's not nasty enough. So it's over. So with this, Fee will feed her a powder to let her go again. And it's over. And now we go prep for our next fight. So the next fight is against Cedric, and we're going to need Kurt in our party. So get out and get in. So we're also going to bring Gaius back in because Gaius is good for the next fight. Gonna fast travel back to the garden and go to the Hall B. So the interesting part is this is the last battle in the entire game where the emblem dupe matters. After this, we no longer care whether or not we get emblem dupes. Granted, there's not that many fights left in the game, but this is the last one where getting the emblem dupe on Cedric matters. So Gaius does need to get the last hit. Fortunately, that's easy as hell because Cedric and Shirley are both very squishy at this stage in the game. So no extra setups required. With Noble Rise, 3 S-Breaks out to do it. Not 3, 4 S-Breaks out to do it, including Kurt's S-Break. Kurt doesn't actually have his second S-Break because he's like level 90 or something. So he's still gonna have to use Ragnar Strike. Good news is it doesn't matter. Like, he will be fine. So we're gonna grab this chest, which is a bunch of stones. We are no longer going to be making any more Bravestones. We have made the last bit of our Bravestones. So from now on, we are on a Bravestone budget. We have 24 Bravestones across 3 Divine Knight battles. We have to fight Testarossa. Oh, I need this capsule. I need to fight Testarossa, I need to fight El Prado, and I need to fight Ishmelga. And I don't have all the stones in the world to do it with. Alright. That being said, Reen, having passed his studies by pure chance with Keeper, is now overpowered. So, Breaking Dawn is pretty good. So, Concealing Wind, Noble Rise. So Gaius last because the dupe does matter. Make sure this hits both. Good. And that's it. So now it is time for the 4th rivalry. Oh boy. Oh, I accidentally alt-tapped out. Whoops. Okay, so this is when things get a bit crazier. And this is when Machias, surprisingly, gets used as a co-pilot because he has AT Accelerate. So I need to Rise Stone and everybody defend. We need to defend this round of Onslaught. With Burst Drive, Croak and Criminal Edge into Unite. This should kill both of his cronies. No, we need to buff. We can't afford to wait. So now we need to eat Bravestones again. So this is Arm. So this breaks him, and Elliot eats a stone here because that's all he's good for. I'm sorry. This should kill him. Maybe. A hard maybe. Okay, just kidding. He's too tanky for us. He has transcended the mortal power. He's alive after that? Come on. Okay, there we go. That's the 4th rivalry down. And our Bravestone supply is good for the end of the game, which is encouraging. So now we need to emblem up on people, because guess what? Kurt is not done. We need Kurt still, so we do need him to be back at 200 CP. But as soon as he's back to 200 CP, we're gonna swap him out for the next person that has to fight the next battle. The next battle is Maribel and Campanella, and we need Yuna in our party to do that. But first, a quick run to the end. So Campanella's biggest shtick is that he will disorder you at the start of the fight. Oh, whoops, wrong way. He will disorder you at the start of the fight, which is extremely annoying to run ending. Similar to McBurn, we cannot let Campanella ever get a move. So it is advisable to start the fight immediately with Gaia's S-breaking. There is a rare but non-zero chance for Campanella to go first, in which case his disorder cannot be stopped. If that happens, cry, I guess, but also just look for ways to time it out. So seems like Kurt is ready, so we're gonna swap back to Gungnir and Minnows, and we're gonna take this opportunity to boot him out for Yuna. This is not the right way. Whoops. So now we go back and fight the next battle. This is surprisingly a very short run. Alright. I'm gonna safety save just in case Campanella goes first, because yes, that can happen. Okay, this is good enough. So here, Reen has to take over a little bit, because we don't have Laura in. So we're gonna have to Chrono Burst and Brave Soul to get some BP. And now we swap Reen out for Laura, who is going to Chrono Burst again and cast Leon's Kiss. This gives us enough CP to end the fight, and Yuna gets to sit there. So Yuna still has her 200 CP, which is important because we actually do need that. So now we need to emblem back on Fee. And Laura, hold on. So swap Yuna for Ashe, Ashe for Elisa, and Usis for Laura. So the next fight is gonna be against Rufus and Black Alberic. So we need both Elisa and Usis in our party. Elisa is completely garbage and will be swapped out at the first possible opportunity, but Usis will actually be used as a combat unit. So as we run up this spiral, we'll talk about the next fight real quick. It is the one fight that I have the least memories of because it rarely ever goes wrong. I don't think it's ever gone wrong for me. I made a threat on Discord once upon a time that if I ever lose this fight, I will immediately uninstall and stop speedrunning forever. I do since regret making that claim, not because it has happened, but because it may one day happen. But I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that it is not today. Oh, it wasn't this chest. I grabbed the wrong chest. Whoops. Alright. It is a very easy fight, like, don't get me wrong. Like, in terms of combat potential, there is barely any to speak of. Okay, interesting. There's a Serum Capsule down the stairs that I have to grab, so let's go yoink it. Serum Capsule. I believe Fisto has Emblem. Good thing I checked. That would have been bad. So Elisa exists purely to be able to start the battle, and as soon as we can, we swap her into Laura. The better person. Alright. So once again, we open with the delay because they can do the nasty. So we're gonna Noble Rise and Usis will S-Break. Fee will S-Break. And this is a capsule. So liberating part is from here on out dupes no longer matter, so I can really do whatever the hell I want. Oh, I need CB. Nice. Alright, so next is the Rivalry. Fortunately the same as last time. The difference is we get access to a Brave Warder during a Divine Knight battle, and we're gonna use this extensively. So we're gonna start the fight with 2 Brave Stones, just as usual, and Yuna going last, meaning she can poke the arm, which is the weak stance here. So you're gonna open up Divine Arc, lowering our ADF, which is just about the worst stat to lower. Like, it actually just does not matter. So 1000 Force, and we're going to Unite on his arm. So Crow can get a hit off here. So this might suck a bit. Like, he's gonna get this hit off and kill us. Ah, that's okay. Is he buffed right now? He is, okay. So it's over. Ooh, not broken. Oh shit, that's bad. I thought that would break him. It didn't break him. That sucks. Oh well. However, the funny part about all this is our Prado is actually really bad. So even when this happens, I still win. So here we actually want to count how many stones we have. I think yeah, 15 is more than enough. We need at least 8. We have 15. We are more than set. Alright, so coming up is the weirdest fight in the game because I haven't figured this fight out yet. I have no idea how to win, which is really bad for obvious reasons. So for this fight, we are fighting McBurn, and Emma needs to be in our party. Emma and Reen needs to be in our party, specifically. So here, remember back in Act 2 when we fully unequipped Emma? Well, boom. This is why we fully unequip Emma. So right here, when it actually matters, we give her a full speed setup with the remainder of our course. So why do we do this? Because Emma is completely useless. She has no instant damaging moves. Her S-Craft is defensive, which is just about the worst thing you want on you in a speedrun when you just want to pump out damage as fast as possible. We don't need Palace of Eregion. So, what's our first instinct when we have Emma in our party? Well, we kick her out. Like, we can't have her in our party, we just kick her out. So the way we do this is we give her a full speed setup. So now she has like an insanely high amount of speed, which means she's guaranteed to go first against McBurn. And what do? We swap her out into Laura. And this whole time she's been running without any Warpman setup, and now when we finally give her the fastest course that we collected, including like a Novo gem of all things, she's gonna use it to run away. This is a very weird fight because McBurn overbreaks at 1 HP and he can only be taken down. When McBurn overbreaks at 1 HP, he can only be taken down by Summon Valimar from Reen. This is the second and last time that we actually summon a Divine Knight in battle. So now we're gonna Noble Rise and triple S break him. And now we capsule and have everybody go again. Now we cast Chrono Burst into Leon's Kiss. And we should overbreak him into Enrage here. We didn't. Alright, Reen, get in there, buddy. And now he's in Enrage state, which means we sub out for Yuna. Yuna will come in and quick start just Reen. Summon Valimar and ends the fight. Good. That went great. Sometimes Reen doesn't channel Valimar in time, and then McBurn enrages, heals, and then kills you. Fun feature. So now we need to take stock of everyone. So he already... So finally we are on to the final battle. What do we say about this final battle? Well, it's against Osborne. He has 3 phases with 12 combatants that we need to fight him with. Everybody across this entire run, we've used every single playable character in this game. There are 39 playable characters in Trails Cold Steel 4. We use 38 of them. The only person who has not seen a single combat in the entire game thus far is Elliot. And he is still not going to see any active combat here. I'm sorry, Elliot. But here, because we've actually had the opportunity to use everybody, if we could, we have already given Minotauros onto everybody. So everybody except one person should have Minotauro set up. And that is Sarah. Sarah's been holding Mobius the entire time. And Sarah is actually needed for this battle. So, coming up is going to be a very easy boss battle against Osborne, followed by a very tough Divine Knight battle against Ishmelga. Fortunately, we have a plot device weapon, so we're just going to use that. So this party plans out goes like this. Every party needs an even distribution of able-bodied combatants in order to win. So this, Yuna, Crow, Fee, Laura, Reen, Gaius. Where's Crow? Okay, yeah, that's it. So, very, very easy fight. For this, it's Noble Rise, Brave Soul, and Finish. And the second phase is going to be... Oh, well, he's gonna move. And then Sigma. What's Sigma? Oops. And for the final fight, it is Concealing Wind. He's gonna PP2 and Valiant Hearts. Fee goes, Gaius goes, and Fee gets a Zerum capsule gift from Reen. And if he survives, because he got this lucky he got a 10% HP up, we use the rest of our S breaks and finish him, and that's it. So this is the worst fight in terms of rivalry. Like, you are probably gonna die. He does not mess around. The annoying part here is the first battle, the first attack he uses is guaranteed. We know exactly what he's gonna use. This is an arm weakness. It is 75%. So we have 2 chances to hit this 75%. If we whiff, it's bad. We got it on the first hit. Oh my god. So now we're gonna eat 2 Bravestones. Because we have an infinite supply of Bravestones now, basically. 15 Bravestones is enough to end the... Oh no! I got mean by the arm. You're joking. Oh, he's going to angry mode, which means I'm probably dead here. Goodbye, everybody. Did I put him into angry mode too early? Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Uh-oh, that's not the seal. Well, shit. That wasn't the seal, huh? That does complicate things a bit. Well, it should be fine. So everyone's gonna die here to this Atropos Blade, but that's why we keep the Primordial Flame around. We use it here. And we're all back up, baby! And he's gonna kill us all again. Okay. This is 1000 Force into Unite. This should break him. And now we're gonna take some time and eat the last of our Bravestones, because they're sealed anyway. Now we do 1000 Force. Please be enough. Please be enough. Nice! Alright. And finally we're on to the big old final boss. We, contrary to like how impressive and overwhelming it is to have so many combatants, we only need to bring a few people. So who do we need in this team? We need to bring our best all-rounders who's carried us the whole time. So we need to bring you, and you. And we need to make sure Vita is in this party to help us burst Shmelga. And in Team B, we bring the strongest single damage characters we have left. That means Tita, Estelle, Aurelia, and Leo. And that's all we need. And now... so he's gonna get the barriers. We're fine with that. We're gonna Concealing Wind and swap over to Team B to kill Zhang to lower his defensive layer. So here we're going to use Blast Force as we always done, and we're also going to take this chance to use a Brave Seed so we don't screw over Team A for when Zhang dies. So these 4 S-Breaks will kill Zhang. Goodbye Zhang. We hardly knew ye. So with Zhang dead, we have a small window to beat this. So we PP2. And now we pop Azure Feathers. And because we delayed him, because for some reason Absolute Delay works even now, because this is a well-balanced game, we win. And that's it! That is the Cold Steel 4 any% true ending normal turbo speedrun completed, with me hopefully having explained everything up to this point. It's a very fun speedrun, that's why I do it every week. And time! 3:13:57 beats my previous best time by 10 minutes, 11 minutes, which is very encouraging. And because I need to give my voice a break after this very nice run, hopefully I made it as entertaining as possible, I'm going to sign off on that note. So I want to thank you guys very much for coming. My voice needs a break. It is slowly dying on me. Thank you guys so much. I'll be back tomorrow. As usual, I try to stream something different on Saturdays. If I can find something entertaining, I'll stream it. Maybe I'll play Lost Ark for like 3 hours. Who knows? Anyway, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate all of you. Love you all. Take care. Good night.